Welcome to The Redeemables, the podcast where we take movies that scored less than 50 on Metacritic and we decide whether to redeem them or to nail them to the cross. Very excited tonight.
That's good.
To be hosting because we're doing our first ever listener's choice.
Yes,
People's choice.
Yeah.
It was exciting watching the numbers tick along on the social media.
Yeah. So massive shout out to everybody who voted and interacted.
Much
Thank you very
appreciated.
much. Yeah, there was some really good banter going on around it. So thank you very much for that. And the people have spoken.
Before you do that, I just want to say thank you very much to the one person that voted for Into the Blue. I appreciate it. Like you wouldn't believe. Identify yourself to me.
It's too soon. It's too soon.
We'll be great friends.
Yeah, there's always a donkey vote and everything. So yeah, we got a number of votes. We're really happy with the interaction. So we'll probably look at doing it again at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, next time we decide to on a whim. And the people have spoken, and the word they've said is Mallrats.
I disagree.
Surprising.
Stop the count!
Wait.
Stop the count!
I've prepared for Anaconda.
Yeah, me too. I've got Anaconda notes.
Okay, well, I've got plenty of Mallrats notes, guys. Just sit back and enjoy.
Bye-bye, Easter Bunny.
There is no Easter Bunny!
You know about this game show thing they got going on here? Well, we need you guys to somehow ensure that it doesn't happen.
Fly, badass, fly! Good evening, and welcome to Truth or Date.
Second suitor, would you ever make whoopee in public?
No, I think that's kind of personal. I don't think I should answer that.
Mallrats.
You said it was a good size.
When a girl says it's a good size, it's a nice way of saying that it's small.
What else did you expect from the director of Clerks?
Hey!
All right.
Yeah,
Mallrats,
Mallrats. It's sort of it was out in front all the way. I couldn't believe it.
It was. I feel like it was the wild card out of the 6 movies.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Anaconda would get the most traction just because we reference it every podcast.
Yeah.
And then a couple others on there a bit newer, like Hitman's Bodyguard was a bit newer.
Yeah.
I just think
Bad
Mallrats
Boys.
has a huge cult following.
It's
really
a cult
does.
movie.
Yeah,
It's a cult movie. And maybe for our demographic as well, which seems to be...
I'm not in that cult.
No, I put the movie forward, so I'm with our discerning and handsome listeners.
Seen a few of them. Not great.
And also, I should say, I'm here with my friends as always, the man who invented Velcro, Kenny, and the man who taught Michael Jackson how to moonwalk.
Woo! Thank you very much, Ben.
So, we're going to dig into Mallrats tonight.
Dig in.
1995. The movie came out. It's a
95.
bloody long time ago.
I actually thought it was older than that. As in, sorry, I thought it was later than that.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Later,
I thought it was late 90s.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching it in, like, when I was in high school, like 16, 17, which was
I'm surprised you had
99,
time watching movies when you were training as a triathlete.
Downtime.
Just doing laps. The gym on his own. Dedication.
I still got it as well.
Yeah, you do. You got the bod.
Just a natural athlete.
Good fucking footy body on him. I'll tell you that much.
Legs could use some work, but we'll talk about that another time. So what we should look up, actually, is when movies are released in America in 1995, when they make it to Blockbuster in Bunbury. So it might have been 1998 by the
Could
time.
have been. Could have been. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably 96, conservatively. So
Well, it's a new
95,
release
96.
at Bunbury, isn't it?
It would have been one of those VHS that was impossible to get at the video store as well, because they would have only got one.
Can I book it, mate?
Yeah, they would have got one copy in because no one knew what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And it was like low budget, whatever, indie film.
And it's one guy on
Um,
holidays who grabs it and then never returns.
They never
to
return
Bunbury
it because
again.
he's
Sorry, Bunbury.
because he hands it amongst his stoner mates. So you got to watch this Mallrats, man.
yeah, that was me.
That was you. I know.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
literally
so
talking about you. I'm well aware.
Still got it in the car.
Just always searching for something to play it on. The forever search for a VHS player. You want that 6-head stereo VHS as well? That was the good one.
What's a 6 head?
It did stereo sound.
Oh,
Was
wow.
it JVC?
That's fancy.
Yeah, JVC did them.
So Mallrats was written.
Do you want to talk more about VHS?
Okay.
No, I'm out of my league.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys ever...
I know my tech.
Did you ever rewind the video?
Yeah.
I didn't. I was like, bastard.
We're trying to have a bloody
I
society.
used to
Before you
do
took
a
it back.
slow smile while handing it. Is it rewinded? Yes. Think.
Far out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm that guy, eh?
Yeah,
I'm that guy.
and I had to wait the 3 minutes to rewind my tape before I could watch it because of people like you.
Yeah. 3 minutes.
Yeah, longer. Yeah.
It says a lot about a person.
In Bunbury, you just use your fingers and go around the room.
Borrow a friend's pencil.
Sorry to our Bunbury listeners.
Yeah.
Don't be.
Yeah, I'm not. Sorry, carry on.
Mallrats
Yes.
Yep.
was written and directed by Kevin Smith.
Love Kev.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah, we'll have definitely do some Kevin Smith chat.
Will we? I imagine so.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, spoiler
He's
alert.
had an impact.
He'll come up again. Oh,
He's
yeah.
had an
Oh, yeah.
impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really did. And that's interesting where this movie sits in his impact, actually. I think it's
Sure. Can't wait
one
to
of the
discuss.
steps. It stars Shannon Doherty,
Yes.
Jeremy London, Jason Lee, and sort of stars Claire Ferrani?
Irani.
Can I get a ruling on that? F-O-R-I-N... No, I'm not spelling it.
Farini?
Farini. F-O-R-I-A-N-I.
Yeah.
I,
That's not the
oh,
actors. I wanna-
Foriani.
Foriani?
Foriani,
Foriani
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Claire Foriani. Thanks,
Foz.
Ken.
Well,
Ken's our go-to linguist. Just wait until I do my Yugoslav movie next week. Ken's going to get a real workout. He's going to be doing a lot. And smaller roles, but impactful roles from
Give it to me.
Ben Affleck, Jason Mewes, Stan Lee, and Ethan Suplee. Friend of the podcast.
Suplee. Friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
Hero of the movie.
good to see
Also,
him back.
Yeah.
also Michael Rooker.
Yeah. Yes.
Michael
yeah.
Rooker fan.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually great.
I'm one of the rooks. Like
Yeah.
they call us the rooks. It's just me and my dog
Not the
walking down the
rookies.
street. There's a rooks.
For-
Rookies
Massive
would've worked much
Michael
better, yeah.
Rooker fan.
For people that don't know, if you're listening, Michael Rooker is the dad.
He's the dad,
The bald dad. And man, he just goes for it.
Yeah,
Loves
doesn't he?
chocolate.
He's actually insane in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's just coked up to the fucking gills. And he is just screaming, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving those kids a lesson. Yeah, I am also a fan of his, and was at the time even. I can honestly say.
Yeah.
I'd just seen him in Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
That was the one for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a movie I'll never ever watch again.
You have literally said a movie I've never seen.
Yeah,
Congrats.
It's dark, man. I listened to it because of
Probably
samples.
Ken's probably doing it next week on the pod. It's that dark.
Comedy
It's
week
not-
next week.
Not dark enough for
No,
me.
I only listened to it because a band I really liked used some of the samples from this movie in some of their
There you go.
songs. I was
What
like,
band?
Nail Bomb.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, where are Nail Bomb coming up with? And someone in the olden days somehow managed to go. Someone just knew the movie because that's the only way you would know.
Yeah, you would. Yeah,
There's no Googling it. Someone goes, I've seen. Oh, it's my favourite movie, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. I got rid of that person from my friend circle really
Their
quickly.
favourite band is Nail Bomb, and their favourite movie.
Yeah. Just sharpening a knife. I
So-
like them.
Yeah,
I like them a lot.
shout out to that guy, and I hope you're enjoying prison.
Yeah. All the best to him. What do we
Budget
got?
wise,
Give me some stats.
let's go with some stats because we're talking budget for starters.
Ooh.
So interesting, like we've already mentioned, Kevin Smith, indie movie, yada yada yada, right? So just the backstory, slightly obviously being he's coming off Clerks,
Yes.
which was a movie like an absolute indie darling,
I did say indie movie. I'm not sure whether this was it Mallrats? Yeah.
sort of indie feel.
Studio
Had a
finance.
studio
Yeah.
finance behind this one.
This is Kevin Smith coming, like being the hottest property in indie cinema with Clerks, which
Is
he
it Clerks?
literally sold his comic book collection to fund, made for $30,000, made $3 million. Got the attention of everybody with a whole bunch of sort of unknown actors, etc. And the studios were frothing, and they're like, "Let's give this guy
Yeah.
a bit of money for his next movie," which he pitched to them, I believe, as it's Clerks at the mall, right?
Okay.
Which he made for $30,000. So they said, "How about $8 million to make the follow up?" So Mallrats had a budget of $8 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a guy that's made a film with 30 grand,
30 grand.
he doesn't know what the fuck to do with 8
No.
million.
No.
What do you
No.
spend 8 mil on?
No.
I
Well,
just did this for 30.
Michael
Yeah,
Rooker
yeah.
spent $2 million of that on fucking cocaine.
I believe the catering.
I'll do this movie if I can do the coke. Perfect, Michael Rooker.
That was a really good.
That was
fucking-
actually a good
He was a
runner on the
rookie.
spot,
He's
yeah.
definitely a rookie.
The Rooks.
Yeah. So I mean, the catering must have been outstanding because location was, can't see that costing. Actually, the location cost
Minnesota.
cost $10,000. I did look that up. So
For the mall, to rent the mall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was mostly empty.
Yeah.
Because just down the road, the Mall of America had opened. And it's the biggest, flashiest thing
okay.
in America,
Yeah.
and the poor people left at the little shitty mall. Like, we've got an indie movie shooting, I guess. What do you reckon it took in the worldwide gross?
I'm
Successful or nah?
Box office. Ooh, GBO.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, or GBO, the whole world.
I was trying to remember that acronym. I should have written that. What are we calling it?
The GBO, Global Box Office.
I'm going to go with 36 million.
Brave.
I'm a brave motherfucker.
I'm going to say, it's probably around there. I would say maybe 25.
$2 million.
You shut your dirty mouth.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Massive failure.
Yeah.
Wow.
This movie was a flop.
That's weird.
It's like movies like this that flop hard still have a massive cult following.
Yeah.
I guarantee the
Sometimes
VHS
more.
would have been just boom.
Yes.
Going wild.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the best articles I read in doing my research for this was called the Rise and Fall and Rise Again of Mallrats, which went into what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. And Fall Again, because you can't find it on streaming.
So
Rise and Fall and Rise and Fall.
Did you not make what
Apple.
the studio wanted? Did they market it at all? Like,
yeah, they did a little. I didn't get the breakdown.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I do remember there being
crazy.
quite a lot of buzz around it.
So, is it something to do with Clerks being, such a massive success, but it still only did 3 mil? So it did 3 mil off 30 grand.
Yeah.
So you go, oh wow, that's massive success. Give this guy 8 mil.
Yeah.
And his next movie does basically the same amount of money.
Yeah, and he's
So it kind of makes sense.
It's making Clerks in the mall. He's told them up front. He's like, I just want to make Clerks in the mall. They're like, I have $8 million, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of he was kind of set up. He was kind of stitched up to fail.
Yeah. So if you made it for 50 grand this time, and then he did another 2 mil, well, he's a hero again.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like you could probably make it with 50 grand.
Yeah, you absolutely could.
Yeah. There's
That's
nothing
the
in there that costs.
No,
a heap of money.
I honestly can't see where it went. So interesting that it really did not hit when it first came out.
No.
that's crazy.
Bad enough that apparently, like on the first weekend, he just rang whoever you ring, your manager, whoever it is.
Yeah.
He said, "How are we going?"
Yeah.
And he said, "It'll be gone within a week."
Oh.
Yeah, he said,
And
"It's
so will your
bad."
career.
Yeah. So he went from the penthouse to the outhouse, whatever the saying is, within 2 movies. Yeah. He joked about it and talked about it dismissively for many years. Kevin Smith, he was kind of like being self-effacing about it and sort of was using it as a punchline.
Yeah.
For quite a while until it got this momentum, not just like VHS, DVD, but it kept snowballing quite a lot.
Yeah.
It was a big movie in my high school.
Yeah.
I reckon like probably year 11 I was in, so 16.
Yeah.
And it got kind of passed around, like word of mouth. Like, you got to see this movie or whatever.
Yeah.
And everyone was watching it. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
We're going around mates' houses and...
Yeah. So you only make $2 million when you guys all share.
Come round my house, mate. We're going to watch Mallrats together.
So none of that money's going to Kevin Smith, right?
Buckets and... We're ripping buckets in the laundry and then watching Mallrats. No. It wasn't me. I wasn't part of that.
I was outside doing sports and playing in the bush.
Training for a triathlon.
But anyway, it was huge.
Yeah.
But that would have been, as I said before, that would have been 4 or 5 years after it came out.
So that helps build a buzz, but it doesn't make anybody any money, right?
No.
Like
Yeah,
you guys all
Not when there's 9 of us sharing a
borrowing the
VHS that
same
we stole
VHS.
from Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's also
Spending
very
money
hard.
on dirtweed.
Hard to find on. It's very hard to find on streaming device.
Yeah.
I had to buy it.
Yeah, I had to buy it too.
$4.99.
Yeah. You're welcome, Apple. There's some more of my money. I didn't want to be in a cult.
Yeah.
But here
we are.
So Metacritic-wise, it obviously qualifies for our esteemed podcast. It scored less than 50. It scored 41.
Oh, fuck! I thought it'd be way lower than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think it's one of those movies where some critics probably would have been afraid to go in too hard on Kevin Smith as well. Like, I think some critics would.
What if the other critics love him and I'm the only guy that hates him?
Yeah. What if I'm shitting in my own nest? Yeah.
They haven't seemed to care before, but yeah.
Some of them don't. Trust me. I've got some. I'm taking names.
Can't wait.
User score wise, 7.1. So
That's
works
pretty
out to
good.
a 71. So it's another one that we've done. We've done a few of these where the Metacritic score is pretty low, and the user score is pretty decent.
Yeah.
So, and that I reckon that reflects. That's pretty accurate. I'll give that one a tick. I'm going to tick it right now. Tick. Wiki.
Yep.
Oh, give me the wick. Did you extend it?
No, I did the opposite. I took some poetic license with this because most of it was dribble. I was like, I don't care about this shit. I can't remember what it was, but it was not related to the movie.
Well,
It
it's
was-
Clerks in a mall.
Yeah, well,
You've already said it.
Yeah, Kevin Smith said it himself. It was straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
No, it says Mallrats is a 1995 American buddy comedy film written and directed by Kevin Smith. It is the second film in the View Askew universe. Sorry, the View Askew universe. Come on, Kevin, why are you doing that?
Universe.
The View Askew universe.
Yeah.
The Viewers Scooniverse.
So it's a word.
Askew.
It's a word play on view, askew, and universe. It's fucking overly complicated,
yeah,
Kev.
that's not necessary.
Yeah, that's like an in joke that he made the name of his company or whatever.
Yeah.
his universe. After 1994's Clerks, although chronologically Mallrats takes place a day before Clerks.
Okay.
So it's all the same world.
Yeah.
Like, which we learn over the movies that he does.
Yep.
Which may or may not be a successful way to make movies, like artistically. That's another story altogether. Some would call you a one-trick pony for it, I guess. But some would say, bravo, I guess. Yeah. Studio tagline.
Yep.
They're not there to shop. They're not there to work. They are just there.
That makes sense.
Actually, that's not bad.
Yep.
Pretty much sums it up, really.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah. Done a bit of that
you
myself.
it's actually quite a good tale because you know what you're in for.
Yeah.
There is no agenda here.
It's just
Like,
guys
it's literally just
walking
dudes
around
hanging out talking
in
shit.
a mall.
At a mall.
Yeah.
Do you want some reviews?
Yep.
Yeah,
I know
of
you
course
do.
I do.
More than anything.
So, Liam Lacey from the Globe and Mail of Toronto.
Yep.
He gave it 38. He, like a lot of these guys, he's automatically referring it back to and comparing it to Clerks. So he says, talky, crude, sexist, Mallrats is significantly less funny, a flatulent sequel to the director's small start.
A fart of a sequel. Is that
Flatulent sequel?
what it's
Flatulent seagull. I don't know the wording of that.
Yeah.
So it's like this first movie is really smart, and
Yeah.
then this one's a fart.
This one's a fart.
Okay.
Just a fart.
Yeah.
It's a fart of a movie.
Yeah. And it was a small start, which he's managed to
A
take
little-
a shot at
little
that as
jab.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. Roger Ebert makes an appearance.
Oh,
Rog.
shit.
Hello, Rog. He gave
Huge.
it. He was with the Chicago Sun-Times.
First
back in
time we've had
95.
him.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because he's not a harsh critic.
No, yeah. Oh, we haven't done movies that he would even bother to look at, maybe.
That's probably fair. Oh, no, he kind of does everything.
Yeah, right.
I don't know whether
Yeah,
it's
right.
all him these days.
Yeah.
I think he
No,
might
he's
have many
not with us
writers.
anymore. I don't
Oh,
think.
is he not?
No, I believe Roger's passed.
Oh,
yeah.
his website's still active.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we should,
Sounds like
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
if you care about that, look it up at home, because
we didn't.
Go on.
Ken's, I don't know. Rog gave it 38. He said Clerks spoke with the sure, clear voice of the original filmmaker. In Mallrats, the voice is muffled, and we sense instead advice from the tired, the establishment, the timid, and other familiar Hollywood executive types.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, he's,
Rog would know, and I think he's nailed it a little bit.
he has, because
Yeah.
it took away some of the charm. As we were
Yeah.
talking about before, $8 million takes
Too
away
much.
the charm
Yeah.
of the low-budget movie.
That's
And
right.
It's not low budget anymore.
Yeah. Now you're trying to make it look low budget, even though you've got $8 million to spend
Yeah.
at the mall in Minnesota that
Yeah.
no one's at because they're down the fucking road.
Let's discuss that. Try and make it look low budget a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Ken's got thoughts. Walter Adego from the San Francisco Examiner. He gave it 25 and just said, a complete misfire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
What was his name? Fandango?
Walter Adego.
Fandango.
Walter Adego. Yeah, and
Pretty good name.
I'm pretty confident that's actually his name. I'm not even going to get Ken's ruling.
Do you want me to have a look?
No, no, I'm just running with it.
Okay.
Kenneth Turin
Yeah.
from the Los Angeles Times. He came in off the top rope. He gave it 10.
Ooh.
This is our harshest review. This
Scathing.
is our final and harshest review.
Yeah.
He said, a numbing and dispiriting experience aimed at the least discriminating part of the teenage audience.
Jesus.
Otherwise known as Ken and his mates, apparently.
I'm out of my house, guys. I'm watching Mallrats.
So,
It did its job. It just didn't. We weren't the ones going to spend money on it, but it worked.
yeah, no, they made at least $29.99 out of you, whoever bought the tape first. So that's the critical reception at the time. So you can see it just wasn't liked amongst that lot.
Yeah.
So-
It wasn't going to be. I'm actually shocked that it was 41.
Yeah.
Because critically, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can see where they might. Yeah,
I was expecting a few 5s or 10s or whatever. Yeah.
Is
No.
10 the lowest?
10's the lowest one I got. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. No zeros.
No zeros. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a success in my eyes.
Well, ask the people that
Well, we've
invested
had
$8 million.
We've had some much better movies, or at least more expensive movies.
Yeah, getting
and that have-
5s
that
and
have had-
zeros.
Yeah.
One had a 1 or a 0. Yeah.
We could have a little wax lyrical here about whether the fact that there's the internet now, and to cut through the noise as a critic, you probably have to go a little bit harder in either direction.
Fair
so
point.
Maybe there wasn't zeros in 1995 because they weren't trying to clickbait that shit.
Get people to read. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's another podcast.
That's your other part. Yeah.
I'll put that on a list of
Yeah.
podcasts I'm launching in 2022. Far out, I'm going to be busy. So general discussion.
Sure. What do you got, Duff? You brought all your notes.
I
with
didn't bring
So-
my notes at all. I have a phone with IMDb open. I writ some notes down. That
Yeah.
literally happened.
Yeah.
And then I left that shit at work, so I like to do that during
What's your
work time.
vibe?
My vibe was I think it's aged quite a bit.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
aged, and fucking Ben Affleck's pants fucking really pissed me off.
It's an insane suit
he
he's
is
wearing, isn't it?
6'4", and he's wearing a 7-foot man's
He's
fat
wearing
suit.
Michael Jordan's
I was like, what
suit.
the fuck? I couldn't understand what he was doing. It was like walking around. Hey, why is no one bringing this up? Like the tough guy walking around with
He's
fat
from
pants.
fashionable menswear. It's 1995. That's what you wear.
What, like you wear fat pants?
Yeah, you saw Michael Jordan?
Yeah, who cares?
He looks like he's in Talking Head.
Yeah, I don't know what. It just bothered me the whole movie.
No,
Every
I
time
hear
I
ya.
see it bothered me.
I remember that being a thing
Yeah,
about the movie, and as soon as he came on, I was like, oh, this is a fucking suit.
And you know,
that
it
he's
looked
Business
worse
suit
when he
with-
took his jacket off. He
Yeah.
took his jacket off to fight, and I was like, oh, that's worse.
wearing. Yeah.
He works at a clothing store and he looks like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he
Like,
really does.
He's actually just awful in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's just an awful character.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And just, like, everything he wears, his hair's fucking horrible.
He's
Like,
deliberately
just-
a bad bloke.
Yeah.
And not many people know this, but Matt Damon was in his pants. He was in his right leg. Casey Affleck was in his left
So
leg.
this is actually the prequel to
Because when he's
Good Will
walking,
Hunting.
you can hear Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, Matt Damon, Casey Affleck. Because they're just so idiotic, they're saying their own names.
They can fit in.
He was definitely dressed up and made to look like the biggest smarmy asshole bully that.
Yeah, but I feel like they just missed it.
You reckon?
Well, I
For
suppose it's
95,
95.
probably,
I
yeah.
can't, yeah.
Pants aside, I thought he was a nice guy.
Very
Yes. What other than Ben Affleck's pants? Did you have any other thoughts?
That's all my notes were. 5 pages on how angry I was at his pants.
good. Netflix pants, yeah.
Like I was saying, it's aged.
Yeah.
There's still some comedy gold. You put Jay and Silent Bob in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but they
Yeah.
go around and smash critics' faces in. So I'm going to say they were the best. I thought Jason Lee was fucking outstanding.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I thought Jeremy London.
Yeah.
Every time Jason Lee put this movie on his shoulders,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy London would grab it and
try and
try
rip
to
it
put
off.
it in
I
the,
got thoughts on
tried
that.
to put it in the sewerage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their chemistry was good, but
Yeah.
Jeremy London...
No, I thought the chemistry. I thought TS or Jeremy London.
when he shut up...
Every single fucking. He was just terrible.
He
Like,
was
just awful.
He's a bad actor.
Awful character and awful actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking annoying character.
Apparently, he
There's
couldn't
no-
remember his lines throughout the whole shoot. Like he's one of those guys
He
as
had
well. He's not very talented. He's
no
a hack.
redeeming factors.
You're a
at all.
hack, Jeremy London. I said it.
And then it felt like Jason Lee, Brody
Just hold it.
Bruce. He's just smashing line after line, and
Yeah.
he's so charismatic.
What a
It's
revelation
beautiful.
in this movie.
So
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
right? And then, as you said,
Then TS
TS
on
is
top.
like almost just standing there waiting for him to finish
Yeah.
to deliver his line that he can't remember according to
Yeah.
you. And it kind of it shows now
Yeah.
that you said that. It
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Bothered me.
Yeah.
Bothered
Well,
me a lot.
Apparently,
he's
and I-
awful.
I only saw this in one thing.
Dug into him.
Yeah, no, I have under Jeremy London in my notes. I said bad actor.
Yeah.
That's what couldn't remember his lines.
Man,
That's my
just
notes on Jeremy London.
Bad everything.
He apparently saw Stan Lee, who makes the cameo, who
Yeah.
I think is very good.
He's great.
Yeah, he's good.
He's
Yeah.
perfect.
Stan Lee had cue cards because he's like, I'm not an actor, I'm a 100-year-old comic book writer. Right? So put some fucking cue cards up there for the old boy. And they did. Jeremy London apparently said, why does he get cue cards and I don't?
Oh.
And they said, Jeremy, you're an actor, man.
He's
like,
yeah,
He
"Am
writes
I, though?"
comic books, you...
Yeah, he's not from this field whatsoever and never been.
I'm going to call it out.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you big dumb bitch.
Yeah.
I'm so angry at him.
So we won't at Jeremy. But interesting, I thought it was really interesting that Clerks was a deliberately no-star indie flick, right?
Yep.
And then you've got the likes of Ben Affleck playing a smaller role.
Yep.
But
When
was he Ben Affleck then?
Oh, he was no one in 95.
Good Will Hunting had just been bought, apparently.
Yeah, that wasn't out
yeah.
until
So he
97, maybe.
yeah, because he's got that chubby face.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah,
cute. He's got a
yeah.
little chubby
Yeah.
Denver. Yeah. Getting Stan Lee in it.
Yep.
That's huge.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting Shannon Doherty, who was massive at the time.
Coming off the back of
Yeah.
90210.
Yeah. Even old mate Jeremy London.
What was Jeremy London in?
Prior to that, he was in
probably touch
Dazed
on
and
him.
Confused,
Days are confused, man.
which is a stone cold classic.
I know
right?
it, yeah, but I can't remember what he was in it.
Yeah.
He played TS. So he was,
Was
just,
he also terrible in
he
that?
was
Okay.
just terrible.
It's been a
There
minute
was
since I watched
some pretty bad performances
Yeah.
in it, but that's another story.
He's
But
just
yeah.
kind of a handsome dude, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, I guess he can be in movies. No, he can't.
not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Ken, your general thoughts? Is that you got anything else to add generally to your vibe?
Generally, I sort of touched on it before, the how they tried to make it look low budget.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know, I struggle with it throughout the movie. I'm like, is this just the fact that maybe in 95 Kevin Smith wasn't like a great filmmaker yet,
Yeah.
and this was his style, or are they intentionally trying to make this low budget with the obviously it's all single camera stuff, like where it's just the camera's front on and the characters are literally looking at the fucking camera delivering their lines, and you can see like enter stage right and then the next character enter stage left.
Yeah,
it's
like
almost like a theatre show. It's like
Yeah.
you know what it was? It was like a high school play,
Yeah.
and someone had just got a camera and recorded it from the front. That's what it felt
I'd
like.
never
for a
thought
lot
of
of
it. Yeah, it's a fair
I
point.
thought
Yeah.
that bit where Jay and Silent Bob are reading a newspaper and
Yeah.
Jeremy London just kind of runs into him. Like,
Yeah.
you weren't
There was-
running, you just jumped out at him.
There was a heap of bits
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
with
just-
Ethan Suppley at the Magic Eye painting,
Yeah.
which is a whole bit.
Yeah.
Which I really like that. But like the characters just come in from the sides,
Yeah.
and then that character leaves, and the next one comes in from the other side. And it's like,
I'd never thought of it like that, but that's a really fair
That's what it
point.
was. It was
Yeah.
like a play. It was like
Yeah.
watching a high school
It
play.
was, actually.
And that's where I go, okay, is that intentional?
Yeah.
As in that's you want to try and that's his style, or that's just how I know how to make a film, because
Yeah.
I'm not a classically trained filmmaker. I don't know his fucking life story. Maybe he is, but it seems to me like maybe he's not. Maybe he just loves movies.
Yeah.
And he's got a great sense of writing and creativity or whatever. And this is what ended up. And so that's what I was talking about before with like the critically reviewed.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man, they could have really torn this to pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I read Kevin Smith's autobiography and I can't remember a bloody thing about
Is that
it.
fiction or non-fiction?
I don't know. The only bit I remember is that he fucking hates Bruce Willis. There's a whole chapter
Yeah,
about what an
yeah.
asshole Bruce Willis is, and it's the only
A
thing I
lot of
remember.
people hate Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it's just not a nice guy.
I don't think he's great.
Yeah, not a good
Is that from Cop Out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from his cop-out experience.
I love Cop Out.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, fuck.
Tracy Morgan and Sean William Scott make
too much.
Cop Out.
Yeah, it's too much for me. Those two
I
together in the cruise.
hated it.
The movie
my friend.
it would have been better with just Sean William Scott and Tracy Morgan.
Oh yeah, just do 3
And
hours
just
of
do a
that.
cardboard cutout of Bruce, because
Yeah.
I don't think he smiled once. in
He
the movie.
did not want to be there.
Yeah.
He made it very difficult for everybody
Yeah.
involved. Yeah, he
But I
hated it.
thought, because Kevin Smith worked with him on Die Hard 4, is that
Yeah.
that's before Cop Out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He says he was a different person.
Yeah.
He was an absolute arsehole on Cop Out.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, that's and take that with a grain of salt, because as I said, I can't remember this. I think I read it on a plane 15 years ago, or whatever. So it's probably half asleep.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see past Bruce Willis's eyes. There's something there.
Yeah.
It's called Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher.
We're going back. We're going back.
Demi and Ashton.
High fiving. So
High-fiving.
I had never looked at it with that perspective, Ken, but I actually
I
that's
totally
interesting.
agree with Ken, which is a first.
Yeah, I didn't go into it wanting to see that shit. It was just, as we talk about, we start to watch movies a bit more critically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still
and
haven't
you just
got
pick
there
things
yet.
up, and I'm like,
It's
what is off about this? And that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I will never unsee that. I mean, if I ever watch this movie again.
I haven't watched Clerks for a long time.
Yeah.
It's
Is that the same?
Clerks is a masterpiece,
Yeah.
man.
Is it the same as in like a lot of just
In
one
close,
camera
yeah.
and people come? I can't
just-
quite remember. It didn't
It's
stand
not
out.
really that much movement. It's
Yeah.
like two guys at a thing, and
Yeah.
then Jay and Silent Bob at the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
It really is
I
a great
can't stress
flick. Yeah.
how much I like that movie.
Yeah, I didn't get it the first time I watched it. I just didn't get it.
Well, it was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
As in, like, wait, what?
Needs
wait,
more
they're just
colour.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the way
Yeah.
they're talking
And the black and white thing pissed me off.
The other thing was they're talking and it doesn't apply to the narrative,
Well,
Yeah.
that's
and that's what
it's like a
Clerks was.
Seinfeld
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Seinfeld was the exact same.
Yeah.
Which is
No,
the
yeah,
same-
It's a good analogy, actually.
Put
yeah.
a little subplot there and then work around it, but don't actually do anything with the subplot.
Yeah.
It's
It
the
was
same with
cold.
Mallrats,
Yeah.
where the best part of Mallrats, and I think you'll agree, I think everyone that watches it will agree, the best part of Mallrats is when they're not driving the story and doing the narrative. The best parts are Jason Lee riffing about why the fucking pretzel stand or the cookie stand is not part of the food court,
Yes.
or the Superman and Wonder Woman thing,
Man,
she
man.
needs a uterus to
Yeah.
have. Like that's the
That's-
best shit about
That's
Mallrats.
Jason Lee
100%.
holding
Yeah.
the movie up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then TS was
But
bring it
Jason
back
Lee
down.
got the material to work with a bit. But I also would wonder, like, you'd probably take half of Jeremy's lines and give them to Jason halfway through the movie anyway if you're Kevin Smith.
just
Yeah.
make TS
Yeah. Just nod, mate.
just a mute.
Just sit there and nod. But I 100% agree. I've got that mentioned several times through.
Yep.
The thing that made Clerks stand out was the banter, the witty dialogue, the
Yeah.
sass.
Yeah.
And there was much less of that in Mallrats than I remembered when I rewatched it this time.
Yeah, they were really trying to drive the narrative, drive the story along,
Yeah, it's
which
like-
Clerks didn't really have.
And I think that might be where Rog Ebert is probably correct, you wonder how much of that's a studio influence, where they're like, oh, enough of the just sitting around talking. Like, we need some slapstick comedy.
Yeah, I bet it
need,
is.
yeah.
We've given you $8 million. We need a fucking story here.
Yeah.
Make a bit of romance and make it a,
swing the fat guy for rope through a wall.
Yeah.
Like
that sort of shit.
Yeah. No, fair point.
Yeah. No, that's what I had. Oh, the last thing in general discussion was, and this is, I think, the only thing I clearly remember about the film other than Ben Affleck's pants, because I hadn't watched this for maybe 15 years, I'd say.
Yeah, I was in the same
So I
boat.
basically had forgotten it. But, if you watch something enough a long time ago, you still remember bits. And the other bit was just the stink palm, man.
I knew you were going to say that.
Like,
it's really the bit that sticks with everyone.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, as soon as you said Mallrats, or as soon as Mallrats won, I was like, fucking stink palm. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remembered the whole bit with Michael Rooker, like licking his fingers, and it's just grotesque.
It is.
It is the bit where it's a
ultimate.
close up on his mouth, and it's like, oh man.
All right, so you can't scream at him, but after all he's done to you, you should still kind of stick it to him.
How do you propose I do that?
You stink palm him.
Stink palm.
You take your hand and you stick it in your ass like this. You've been walking all day and you're also nervous, so no doubt you'll be sweaty as hell.
You should see yourself right now, a grown man with his hand down his pants.
Yeah, I probably look like my old man. There, now you shake hands with the guy. Hey, Mr. Svinning, how have you been?
What's the point?
You know how long it takes for that smell to come off? Scrub all you like, it'll stick around for at least 2 days. How does he explain it to his colleagues and family? They'll think he doesn't know how to wipe his ass properly.
Meanwhile, you yourself are left with a hand that smells like shit.
Small price to pay for the smiting of one's enemies.
I think I'll pass.
It's an ultimate gross out comedy, isn't it? Yeah,
it's really
But also, gross out comedy wasn't as played out in '95 as it became over time, right? So we went through a gross out period, didn't we?
We did. Farrelly Brothers, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I was going to say something about Mary, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Kingpin. Didn't we talk about Kingpin on here?
Kingpin may be on the list. Tune in. So no, I was the same. It was definitely one of the things that stood out for me.
The one other thing was there's an extended cut of this film.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you've got it in your notes or whatever, but I watched it.
It's much longer, right?
Yeah, I watched the extended cut by
Did
accident.
you really?
Yeah. So there was all this new shit in there that I hadn't seen.
Oh.
And I knew I hadn't seen it, even though I hadn't watched the movie for a long time. And I was like, fucking, this is weird. And I hit the pause button on the TV or whatever. And it was like 40 minutes in, and it said there was an hour and 20 minutes to go.
Oh,
settle in.
Yeah, it was over 2 hours.
That's like
Ash, I'm going to need more snacks.
Yeah, no shit. So it was a lot. And
Jesus.
this is the worst bit. Most of the extra scenes of the extended cut was TS and driving the story even more.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Gross. Because
So-
I was wondering what it was, because I wondered whether that was studio influence. Whether I was hoping it was just going to be like another half an hour of awesome witty banter.
No,
The studio went, nah,
it's
pull
not
it
at
out.
all.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
They edited
Right.
it very well. I reckon it might have been the other way around, where Kevin Smith at the end has gone, we need to cut this up.
Yeah,
I don't
This
think-
isn't my movie anymore.
I don't think Kevin Smith. This is one of the movies he didn't edit.
It's the only movie he hasn't edited.
Oh, okay.
He didn't edit this.
Weird. Okay,
Yeah.
so someone's tried to capture his style by taking out all the other shit that
Getting
I
rid of it.
watched,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I mean, he would have had some influence, so I'm pretty sure he just didn't hand
He would have
over
seen the final
reels.
cut.
He just didn't handle the mouse.
Yeah.
This is an extended version. It's not the director's cut. It's an extended version. Yeah, is it a director's cut or an extended?
No, it's an extended version. It's
Yeah.
not a director's
Yeah,
cut.
so
Not
that's-
a,
that makes sense.
No, it's very different.
Interesting distinction.
Yeah, well done.
Stuff. Well done.
Yeah, I'm critically there, guys.
Yeah. Look how he goes without notes. He's just off the cuff.
Yeah, just fucking the space. I got.
Dropping knowledge. You
I
got
don't know
more-
what to do with my arms.
Got more room to drop knowledge. So, I just wanted to mention a couple of things that I thought were good with this movie.
Please.
I really like the opening sequence with the superhero. Each of them as a superhero, kind of set up their character a little bit. It was a good way of giving a little bit of background to each particular character as we went along. You got a little insight into their personality. They should have just done fucking TS as a plank of wood. Woodman. No one cares if he lives or dies. But I thought it was a really clever way to do a bit of exposition. There's my first mention of exposition. Everyone's welcome. I really enjoyed how they did a similar thing with the closing credits. They did the "Where Are They Now" thing. It kind of worked because it was it's just so light and there's no stakes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It was
So
just
it's like whatever.
here's a
Yeah,
punchline, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't whether the guy from Shawshank fucking lived in the paddock or whatever. It was like, there was nothing to care about. So
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, did he live in the paddock?
We lived in the fucking paddock in
At
Shawshank.
the end, he was in a paddock. I don't know.
It's a different Shawshank.
I think one of the things that aged well is the superhero worship, for better or worse. Hey,
Hasn't
Kenny.
changed.
But no, it's gone through the roof.
I love it.
It's aged very well, hasn't
I wonder
it?
whether that's been a factor in its cachet over the years, how it's built in stature, as the fact that so much of it is superhero nerd based.
I wonder if some people would watch Mallrats now because they know Stan Lee's in it. So you might get an 18-year-old kid that loves his comic books and all that shit. Yeah. So, there's this other thing with Stan Lee in it. Yeah. I think it would be lost on them. Yeah. Mallrats as a movie. Like, it's not from.
Do kids still hang? I mean, I go to the gallery, but I get in and out. It's I'm like the guys in Predator trying to get in.
They might giggle at some of the references with Superman and Wonder Woman, all that sort of stuff. So maybe,
possibly,
might find its way back onto streaming services or something like that.
Please, for free, that'd be lovely. This is costing me a fortune. This podcast. I thought the best bit of the movie, hands down, is the game show.
Yeah. Highlight.
It's when it all clicked, right? It's when the banter was flying. The sledgehammer Gil, poor Gil, man.
How bad.
Gil's great.
Gil just fucking sits there and just goes, shut the fuck up, Gil.
Well, did they come or not?
Gross, Gil. So
he just looks like a guy that you're going to bully as well.
Yeah,
he's just got that perfect face for it,
didn't they? Yeah.
It's so well done. When you first see it, you see Jason Lee like stunned. There's like this huge crowd. You went, he's going to be a nervous wreck, and but he just.
He turns it on
and just goes off. Poor Gil.
It's just letting him cook. That's just letting Jason Lee cook. And the part where he's cooking the most, and my Mandela effect part, which I did not remember was in Mallrats until I rewatched it recently, the jerking off on the plane story.
Yeah.
But my cousin Walter jerked off in public once. True story. He was on a plane to New Mexico when all of a sudden the hydraulics went. The plane started spinning around, going out of control, so he decides it's all over and whips it out and starts beating it right there. So all the other passengers take a cue from him, and they start whipping it out and beating like mad. So all the passengers are beating off, plummeting to their certain doom, when all of a sudden, the hydraulics kick back in and the plane rights itself. It lands safely, and everyone puts their pieces or whatever, away and deboard. Nobody mentions the phenomenon to anyone else. Well, did he come or what? Jesus Christ, man. There's just some things you don't talk about in public.
I've referenced that countless times, more times than I should. Like, at church.
And it's from this.
And it's from, and it was fucking good when he told the story. He just does it so much better than I do it.
There's guys on a plane and they jack off.
Good story. But yeah, and the monologues when they came, they were great. I really liked the psychic's disclaimer before exposing her breasts, and she's like, if you have a heart condition." I just thought that was a nice little touch.
Did she hate the nipple at the end? What was it?
She had to know. It looked like edible nipple.
Yeah, just like
just a lolly.
Yeah,
a lolly nipple.
It's a nipple lolly.
Yeah. The 90s were a different time. Mum, can I go to the shops and get a nipple lolly? I'm going to my friend Ken's house to watch a movie.
I've got
remember you could get those the sour ears? Yeah. Remember the lollies that was an ear covered in sugar?
Body part
so
confectionery.
There was just one of those, but it was a nipple. You don't remember the ears?
Bring back the body part confectionery. As I said earlier as well, I think Stanley was actually pretty decent in it.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was really good.
I thought he was a nice touch.
It was when he's in all the Marvel movies, he's like just in it for like a split second. But this he actually had. He was part of the movie.
He had a scene.
Yeah,
right off the bat,
and it was good.
Yeah, and I want to shout out the soundtrack. Being the music nerd that I am and being as old as I am, it had some pretty cool songs on it. Even the first couple of tracks.
Yeah, not a lot of it landed for me. I think it was too obscure for me.
Well, maybe
I was too young at the time.
These names are probably too 90s for you, but there was all Archers of Loaf, Belly, Girls Against Boys, and Elastica were the ones that jumped out at me.
Archers of Loaf's about all I got.
Yeah.
Movie's my week.
So with Kev, with his career, as it went, so he has 30 films in his career as a director on Metacritic. He has an average score of 51.
A lot of those are going to be short films, and they're also going to be Jay and Silent Bob.
A lot of Flash, DC stuff as well.
Actual movies, like theatrical movies, I want to say there's like maybe 10 or 12.
Yeah,
10 is it?
10 or so, I think, He's mined the Jay and Silent Bob intellectual property as much as... I didn't know there was freaking TV show... Cartoons.
All sorts of
shorts. So they all count, I guess.
I guess it's the Predator effect as well. You got this one character and you can extend on it and just
or you just keep making them do the same thing over and over again. Sometimes apparently,
I'm cool with that.
It works.
There wasn't a lot of extending going on.
Once again, Jason Mewes, if you're listening, I loved you guys and everything you've ever done.
And also he loves superheroes. Shocker, right? Wow. And so he's done stuff like Supergirl and The Flash.
I saw that. So
and all that
episodes of
counts.
it. Yeah, I didn't know that.
That counts amongst his 30 as well.
That's kind of cool that he jumps in and does it.
Oh, it's his dream to do Star Wars, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I made that up, but it sounds right.
Sounds good.
I think it's a lot of people's dream, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, scores-wise, average of 51. Highest, Chasing Amy on 71.
Love
surprise
Chasing
me.
Amy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hello, Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Chasing Amy was everything Mallrats should have been.
Yeah.
It was the realised version of his vision, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of took the best of Clerks and Mallrats and then put it into a proper movie. It's almost like a proper movie.
Yeah.
Chasing. I'm not saying the other two aren't, but the other two are kind of...
Yeah, it's when it crystallised there, I reckon. And also...
what I'm trying to say, is that you could watch Chasing Amy if you just liked watching movies, and you can anyone can kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
Whereas Mallrats or Clerks, you kind of have to have it. You basically have to be an 18-year-old stoner.
I don't think that with Clerks at all.
No?
I think anyone can watch Clerks.
Really?
I think it's so well done. I think it's a masterpiece. I can't say this enough. Masterpiece.
Okay.
Right.
me-
I did not know you felt so strongly about
I
Clerks.
feel I love Kevin Smith. Like, a lot of
I don't
thoughts on
think
him.
you could show Clerks to someone under the age of 30 now.
I
and
think
they're
you
gonna
can,
like
man. There's a lot of dead hopers like me
Dead hopers.
who work a minimum wage job.
It's a new
A
dead
dead
hope.
hoper.
Hope
It's
for
me.
death.
Like
Hope is
working
death.
in a minimum wage job. There's no ambition.
Sorry,
no
it's my band
ambition.
name.
Yeah, right.
Dead
it down.
Hopers.
Dead Hopers.
The Dead Hopers. Yeah.
Copyright.
Go on.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead hopers out there. It's like, and a
Dead
dead end
hopers
job
are the bad guys
with
that
a
are
dead end
economies
money.
Doubling down.
And I just think there's a lot of people that would understand Clerks. Like, that guy's frustrated. being
Anyone
where
who
he
worked in
is.
retail.
For sure, but not. You're saying it's going to be universally loved. It's not going to be universally loved.
Well, I can't tell the people what they love and don't love, Ken. I thought that we'd be doing fucking Anaconda.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks. No, I think Clerks was impactful for a reason.
I think you should revisit Clerks.
No, I'm a fan. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not going to be a universally loved movie. It's
black and
niche-
white.
It's a niche film, man.
Yeah, it is very niche.
Yeah.
You guys going to fight it out for long because I need to pee.
It's healthy. It's healthy. Healthy debate. This is where I tell Duff his opinion's wrong.
Yeah.
Fair. His lowest scoring movie.
We just nodded at each other.
We just gave each
fair
other a
enough.
nod.
For everyone at home, they just did the Predator handshake. And we're moving on.
Oh, good.
So his lowest scoring movie is Yoga Hoses with 28.
I fucking hate that movie.
That was just to get his daughter in a movie or something, wasn't
and
it?
who
Is
else
it Zombies or something?
Yeah. Who's the other daughter? She's someone famous as well.
Kevin Smith's daughter.
Yeah, Kevin Smith's
I
daughter.
think it's
and-
Chloe Smith.
Yeah,
Made that up, so don't trust anything I say.
I don't know.
but yeah, the other
Had it in my
actress is
notes. Unfortunately, I left them.
Keanu Reeves' daughter or some shit. I don't know. Look it up.
Have you got a score there for Tusk?
No. In short.
Yeah, that is one of that mind boggled me. I hated it so much. So
Yeah, I didn't
rank.
like it.
So it's like around the human centipede stuff,
Yeah.
which I cannot stand.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
my
love
thing.
horror, but I cannot do Tusk.
No.
Was Tusk like Elijah Wood or something?
No one makes Justin Long ugly.
Oh, it's Justin Long. That's right.
Don't you
That's what it
dare
was.
touch his little face.
It scored 55 on Metacritic.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Tusk.
Yeah. Tusk, yeah.
The one where he turns a guy into a walrus. Oh, what's a Wikipedia? Young Justin Long goes into a house and gets turned into a fucking walrus.
Justin Long's taking the breakup with Drew Barrymore really badly. He's looking for a seal. So, yeah, I watched a couple of minutes of Yoga Hoses and thought, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, I did that as well. I never watched the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Is it Zombies? Was it right there? I can't.
Yeah, it's.
I feel like I watched it.
Yeah, it's zombies and
It's something.
100% someone famous's daughter as well, which it's going to bug me.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying Kevin Smith's other dauher's famous.
No,
You're
no.
saying someone else
Yoga
famous's
Hoses,
daughter
yeah.
is in that movie. Okay, I'm with you now.
Jason
Look it
Mewes
up.
have a daughter?
Bring it up. Let's
It
go.
is Colleen. Oh, it's Johnny Depp's daughter. Not Johnny.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Johnny
Before
Depp has
Amber-
a daughter?
Yeah.
Amber Heard or?
Yeah. I don't know if he's got custody.
I assure you he doesn't.
He was. He was also listed as executive director of a movie called Volga,
Yeah.
which scored 5 on Metacritic. I just threw that in there because I don't think I've seen a 5.
I think an
Like as a total score, yeah.
executive producer, they don't do much. Or he'll have an idea and it will get added in.
Yeah, he threw some money at it probably, but his name's on a 5 now. He probably made a bad decision. It was one of his fucking mates who said, give us some money, and he said, all right, no worries, what are you making?
Can we talk about a brief period of Kevin Smith's career, which it's probably maybe my favourite period of his career, because he kind of goes mainstream and he does it really well.
Yeah.
And it's from like 2008 to 2012.
Yeah.
And he has, in order, he did Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yes.
Which was like, that's more of like a universally comedy.
That's
universal comedy.
That's a studio
Other than the
comedy I
title.
love.
Yeah, it's a studio comedy, yeah.
Loved
Seth Rogen's in it.
Elizabeth
Banks.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Jason
great.
Mewes.
Jason Mewes is in it. Yeah. That's right. Of course.
And it's got the guy from Clerks as well,
Yeah.
the cameraman. So
That's it.
he's in
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, he did Cop Out, which whatever that's going to be. Neither some people are going to like. Yeah.
Fuck, it sucks.
A lot of people are going to hate it.
It's a
lot of people are going
It's
to
a
love
fucking terrible movie, but Sean William Scott and Tracy Morgan, like, they're unbelievable.
Do you know what
together.
that was called
It just made me
before-
giggle the whole time.
Do you know what Cop Out was called before the studio made him change it?
What?
A Couple of Dicks.
Okay.
Dead set.
Probably for the best. They
Yeah.
changed that.
No, it probably would have been a better movie if it was actually just a couple of dicks.
And played by Sean William Scott.
Just
and Tracy
hanging
Morgan.
out.
Oh, just two dicks. Literally two dicks.
Just two phalluses.
Okay.
Wow.
And the one after that was Red State, which
Love.
was the only non-comedy he did.
Yeah.
Which that's a phenomenal movie.
Genius. That
yeah.
movie is genius.
It's really a masterpiece.
No.
Okay,
I
sorry.
think you think it's one thing, and then it's another thing, and you go, Jesus Christ, I'm having a good time here.
Really good. That
I should watch it, shouldn't I?
Have you not seen it? Oh, you'll be all over it.
And
it's
then-
about what's the dude that
John
it's a
Goodman.
cult. It's a cult.
I'm in.
What's it? The famous one where they go to the FBI and all that shit, turn up to the house and there's a big
Waco.
shootout. Waco.
Yeah, Waco.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't think
Wait,
they
what?
actually call it Waco.
That's my special secret subject. I'm going to go on hard quiz with Waco.
Man, you've got to watch Red State.
Kevin Smith
You will
plus
love
John
it.
Goodman.
I'm super
You're in for it.
excited.
It's
Yep.
a treat.
And
Right.
it's actually a genuinely like great film, as in it's got none of Kevin Smith's normal kind of style or
At all.
banter or anything like that. It's just a genuine, I'm just going to try and make this movie. And it's kind of a horror movie, I guess you'd call it. Or
Yeah,
a thriller.
it's
It's like a
listed as
horror.
a-
No, it's not
It's
a
a
horror.
thriller.
It's
It's
a thriller,
not a
yeah.
horror.
Yeah.
But it's culty. I didn't think it
very
was culty.
culty.
I thought it
Oh,
was.
big
I
time
thought I
culty.
avoided it
Nah.
because I thought it was straight horror.
Nope.
I am in.
Yeah, you're going to like that
I
one.
am all the way.
Put it on
And
your
it's
list.
not what you think it is. It's so good.
Yes. So he did Zack and Miri Cop Out, and then
Red State.
and Red State, and they were three like it was none of the normal Kevin Smith stuff in it. Zack and Miri a little bit, but not really. Like that
Yeah.
could have just been made by Judd Apatow.
True, yeah.
And yeah, so that was like a weird little bit in his career, and I was like, oh, okay,
He's nailed it.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
Because some of his other stuff has been real hit and miss for me.
Yep.
Whereas this one, those ones, I was like, yeah, cool, great.
Yeah,
Let's
he's
do
100%
Kevin
hit and miss
Smith.
for me.
But then after that, he goes back and does some. I think Tusk was maybe after that, or
I don't. In the last 5 years, I can't say he's done anything.
no, he's just doing Jay and Silent
Yeah.
Bob.
He's just churning out, and he's doing Mallrats
And
too.
I think he's
Is
trying
he
to-
really?
He's trying. Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
This time it's Clerks on a boat. No, I don't know what it is. It's probably at a mall. I don't know. I think I'd actually
at a
watch
mall.
fucking Clerks on a boat. It'd be better. Eh?
And listen, if Michael Brook is in it, I'm going to watch it.
He's got his skipper's ticket.
Oh, no doubt, watch it. Actually, Clerks 2 was pretty good.
Yeah, it was okay. Actually,
It
was
had
pretty
none of the charm
disappointing.
again
Yeah.
of the first one, but it was all right.
Yeah.
So maybe
You
more.
can't
Rats 2
bottle
is
the
okay.
lightning. This is
No,
the
you
thing.
can't.
Sometimes just let it
you
go. man.
never remake.
You've said it before. You nail it.
Yeah.
You really can't.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
No,
Besides,
that's-
You can
that is your
actually.
favourite. So,
So anyway, that was Kevin Smith.
oh, yeah, and
For me,
with
when-
Kev. Sorry, go on.
No, you go. I feel rude. You've got the notes. I feel like when was Dogma released?
96 or 7, I think.
Because I'll go there and say it's a masterpiece.
Dogma's great.
Dogma
Yeah,
is
love
so
Dogma.
controversial.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just hits all the right, great notes for me. I
Yep.
love the comedy in it. It's the only thing I like that Chris Rock's ever done. So
Really?
yeah, I seen Chris Rock stand up at the arena.
Oh, that's right.
And I left
You're still burnt by that, aren't you?
it was my birthday present from my wife.
And he just stood up and shouted, "Be funnier," and then
Yeah.
walked out.
Yeah, pretty much. 20 minutes early, I left and I went, it's not great.
Right.
I wish you were Kevin Hart.
Martin Lawrence. I'd take Martin Lawrence right now.
I would. It was, horrible stand up. And Dogma for me, the holy bartender still sticks with me forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How do you make a holy bartender?
Yeah, Dogma I think is my favourite of those ones of that series that he's got of movies where it's like repeating characters and things like that. That's my favourite.
Are we dropping a top 5? Have you got a top 5? Have you got a top 3? What are your favourite Kevin Smiths?
Can I go first?
Yeah, please do.
From what you've heard, my favourite is Clerks.
Yeah, masterpiece, I've heard.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
My second is Dogma. But I think those two for me are very tied.
Yeah.
I both called them masterpieces, so they must be tied.
Yeah, there's a tier. We're doing tiers now.
Yeah. And then 3 I had, what have I said so far? Yeah, that's it. No, then 3 for me was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Really?
But I haven't rewatched it in a long time.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, I had Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yep.
And then I had Red State.
Right.
Yeah.
But I
Cool.
like to do Kevin Smith comedies. And Red State is number 5 because it's not a comedy.
Yeah.
But it is great.
It's just a good movie.
Yeah.
What did I'd have Clerks, Chasing Amy, and Dogma
Yes.
as the 3.
Yes.
And then I'll take 2 out of the other period, which I'd take Red State and Zack and Miri.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're all very similar.
Okay.
I'd go Chasing Amy and Dogma.
Yeah.
Number 1 and 2. Clerks and Mallrats 3 and 4, and Zack and Mary Make a Point at number 5.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Beautiful. Yeah, but
Right,
I
you
haven't
haven't
seen Red State. I'm so
You gotta
excited to
fucking
watch
Red
it.
State.
You don't know, like, you
Pretty
do
sure
not
it's on
know
Netflix.
Waco. Oh man,
I know, and that's why I was
gonna be
shocked you
another
hadn't
podcast.
seen it. Yeah.
My Waco podcast. Tune in for that shit. Far out. So in his ladder, Mallrats is ranked, as I said, 41. Just above it is Jersey Girl, 43.
Yeah.
Oh,
People
Jersey Girl's above
fucking
it.
hated that
I
movie
hate Jersey
so
Girl.
much.
Is that Jennifer Lopez? Is that one?
When I was young, I hated Jersey
No,
Girl.
am I thinking of Giggly?
No, I always get Giggly and Jersey Girl confused.
Are they not the same
They're
movie?
both better.
They're different movies.
Jennifer Lopez is in it.
Yeah.
In what? Jersey Girl?
Yeah.
Is she in Giggly as well?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, she's a mum that
And
dies.
Kevin Smith do Giggly?
No,
hell no.
Sorry, I'm confused.
That guy's at the bottom of a river somewhere with concrete around his feet. Gobble, 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 gobble. Shut
And
the
I'm not
fuck
against
up.
that. Yeah, gobble, gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. I can't even remember what I was talking about.
We were actually talking about the worst fellatio scene of all time.
Yeah, gobble, gobble. What? Now I'm done.
Yeah.
Move on from whatever I was talking about.
Jersey Girl.
Jersey Girl, that's right. So when I was single and had no family, I watched Jersey Girl.
You're a dead hoper with
I
no
was
family.
a dead hoper watching Clerks
Just
over
walking.
and over again. The only excitement I got on the weekends when Ken would go, "Come round my house and watch Mallrats with me, buddy." So I'd do
I've got
that.
my mate's VHS.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on. Someone hasn't rewound it. But when I was a father, I actually liked Jersey
Oh, you're
Girl.
not anymore?
No. No, when?
Oh, when?
So when I became a father,
Oh, sorry.
I'm not a good man. I'm not a good father. But when I watched Jersey Girl as a father, I felt more for it and I liked it a bit more.
Right.
But in saying that, I still fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just liked it more than when I wasn't a father.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
felt the
believe
same
you
about Ransom.
rewatched it.
Yeah, I
I
did.
can't believe you gave it a second chance.
Yeah.
There's so many other
I
movies
just thought
out
it was
there
the
to watch.
Jersey Boys and got confused. Oh yeah, I watch a fucking Jersey Boys.
I've never seen it and I never will. I'm
No,
not,
I've
I'm
not
not
seen
ashamed
it.
to say it. Not ashamed to say it.
I've seen it.
That's fair.
I know
And-
it's not for me.
Below Mallrats, on the ladder, I'm vindicated. Cop Out, 31.
Yeah, it was very well
It was a
hated.
shocking movie.
Oh, yeah, it's not
It was
good.
hated.
It's not good.
Hated badly.
Yeah, it's just funny. It just
just-
makes me giggle.
There's 20 minutes that makes me laugh out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
So most of my other things on Kevin we sort of already touched on. The fact that he made his first movie for 30 grand, pretty impressive. And then the impact that had, the ripples that caused in the movie industry. He's somebody, even if people don't necessarily like his style, and you can, like we're talking about, critics wouldn't like his style.
Yeah.
Nobody can deny the impact. He would have opened a lot of doors for a lot of indie movie makers.
shit, yeah.
A lot of people
For better or for worse.
Yeah,
probably.
true. Yeah.
A lot of people know who Jay and Silent Bob is as
Yeah.
well. Like, you immediately get Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
See his Silent Bob.
He's linked to it. Well, this is a Kevin Smith thing is, even if you're not into movies like we are, you're still there's probably only 5 directors that you know, right?
Yeah, true, yeah.
You know Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
You know
Steven Spielberg,
Steven Spielberg. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
Ron Howard.
Nah, I don't reckon.
You don't reckon?
Your average punter probably doesn't know who the fuck Ron Howard is.
Ron Howard from Happy Days.
Yeah.
Uh,
movies.
But Kevin Smith would be one of those. Is my
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people of a certain age.
Kevin Smith, Judd
Yeah.
Apatow.
Yeah, Judd Apatow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people would go Kevin Smith. Yeah, so he's like one of those directors
Yeah,
because
you're
he
right.
has
James
that really
Cameron.
distinct style. And James Cameron, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe Ridley Scott. Maybe people know Ridley Scott. I think. But anyway,
Yeah, and I think it would have been interesting from my point of view, being of the vintage that I am. Clerks came out in 94, Mallrats in 95. I'm like late teens, like right in that demographic.
Perfect.
and have followed his career to an extent.
Grew up on Kevin Smith.
Yeah, not really closely. I'm not going to lie. Like I go find out he's doing a new movie. Go, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
And because he has been hit and miss for me, but when he was hitting, and he was hitting early with Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing Amy, I was just like, especially by the time I saw Chasing Amy, I was like, this is a fucking genius.
Was Dogma then after those? Was it those 4 in a row?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's strong, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
there's
that's
a huge
why
build up to Dogma. Like Dogma was, I remember all the build up to it being a big deal.
You know what?
And by then it would have been this. Sorry,
all the picketers and stuff like that. They made Dogma a success
because God was a woman.
Yeah. It made it a huge success.
Yeah.
And by then it would have been marketed as the new one from Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And how many directors out there get that?
Yeah,
and then it's not the new one from whatever.
All of a sudden you got Ben Affleck and Matt Damon as well, which helps.
Yeah. Of course. They're big. And
the Good Will Hunting reunion.
Yeah, that's cool.
He has done a really good job
one of those
dragging the people with him.
Yeah. Oh, shit,
well.
yeah.
Like for better or worse.
Yeah.
Just grabbed a couple of mates.
Yeah. Oh, there's a couple of times in Mallrats where there's a performance or two from somebody and you're like, that's his fucking uncle.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why that person, they're terrible. Why would they be in the movie?
Because of that. I feel like I listened to his podcast a lot back in the day, Kevin Smith, so I don't so much anymore, but he was one of the early starters with podcasts. He was doing it 10, 15 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And he seemed like the reason that he would get guys like that is because he was just different to everyone else they'd met in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He was not the studio guy. He was none of that. He was a very regular dude. Like, he was just a weed smoking, wore his NHL jerseys and big shorts, and he talked like fucking shit. Like he was the guy at the bar.
Just
he's a massive movie nerd. Yeah.
Kevin Smith is all of us.
So when Matt Damon meets a Kevin Smith, it's fucking refreshing for him.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And speaking out of turn because I don't exist in that world.
No, let's speak for Matt Damon. Why not?
Okay, I will.
I'm
glad you asked me to.
I also think that worked in reverse a little bit as well, in that there's definitely people that he brought along for the ride, and when we get a little bit further into the cast, we'll dig a little bit deeper on it.
You're saying he's a career killer?
No. He was like, this person may not necessarily be right for the role I've got them in mind for, or even very good at what they're doing.
Yeah.
But fuck it, they're a fun hang.
Yeah.
They're coming along with me.
I bet that's the case.
And we would all be guilty of that.
Yeah,
to an
for
extent,
sure.
right? Yeah,
For
I mean,
sure.
that's why we're carrying you guys on this podcast.
And I appreciate it.
Bang, bang.
What do you got?
So the other thing, like we've touched on it as well, massive superhero nerd. So he sold his comic collection for $30,000 to make Clerks.
Yeah.
Then with the money from Mallrats, he bought a comic book shop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
And he owns one with Jason Mewes now.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
So the comic books in the movie in Jason Lee's room, that's actually Kevin Smith's actual collection. That's crazy.
Yeah. And if you're into comics and heroes and whatnot, you're just frothing at this movie. It's just rife with
all that sort of stuff.
And it's subtle things like people's names and the names of the stores.
Oh, okay.
And, there's all sorts of little Easter eggs in there for those people that know what they're looking for. Not me, unfortunately.
No.
I know that one of them was dressed up like the Batman once. And on that note, he has a charity which is called the Wayne Foundation, which I thought,
that's cool.
His whole life, so more power to him. And as you say, he's still doing podcasts. He does them much less regularly now, but he and Jason Mewes have a podcast.
Yep. That's the one I used to listen to back in the day. Yeah.
He does like spoken word tours, all sorts of stuff like that. He just seems to be enjoying himself.
Kevin Smith's the kind of guy you'd love to sit down and just have a chat with.
Yeah, I think he would.
Just chat about film.
So, Kev, if you're out there, just add us, mate.
Yeah.
Should we get him on?
Yeah.
Should we try and get him on?
Guys, I've got a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Come in, Kev.
We'll do, what was the other movie that didn't get over, Clerks was just over 50, wasn't it?
Yeah, Clerks is well over 50.
We'll get him in
what
for
about
Jersey
Dogma?
Girl.
And
Dogma's not,
Dogma's 62.
There's got to be one of those that's below.
Get
him in for Jersey Girl.
I guess we're doing Jersey Girl.
Okay, as a father, Kevin.
I used to be a father.
And before we watch, we'll get him around to Ken's house and we'll watch Jersey Boys.
Oh,
and
Jersey
then
Boys.
Put on Jersey Girl afterwards.
So, I mean, Kev keeps coming up as we talk about the cast because he's so.
We're
linked with
calling
the
him
cast.
Kev now.
Yeah,
that's how close
he's one of the boys.
I feel like we've become closer to him.
Welcome to the team, Kev.
Yeah.
Welcome, Kevy.
Friend of the pod?
Smitty. I'm going to
Kev,
Smitty.
We're calling him a friend of the pod.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have to know it to be a friend.
Yeah.
It can be.
I don't think Suppley knows it either.
If anyone knows Kevin Smith, let him know we're talking about him. And we've got nothing but nice things to say.
Very nice thing.
Yeah.
No, we're fans up in here.
Yeah.
So the cast. We've already.
Did we not just do that?
No.
That's still on Kevin Smith. Let's do it.
We've have we shit on Jeremy London enough? We can just skip over Jeremy London.
I don't want to do Jeremy London if that's okay.
He's not worth my
It's just
time,
so
Ben.
bad, man.
Yeah.
He almost, literally almost ruins the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Very close to it. He makes it almost unwatchable.
He is terrible. And how he got jobs in both Party of Five and Seventh Heaven, I will never know.
He's fucking handsome, and he's got the hair. It's that hair, that middle part.
He looks
with
like a clueless Christian kid.
He's that 90s kind of... Yeah, exactly
He's got
right.
a dead look in his eyes. Fucking,
He's handsome, man.
You look like someone who'd knock on my door and ask me if I want to talk about Jesus. That's what happened in those shows, I think. Anyway, Sharon Doherty.
Yep.
Renee, she played. So she was a massive star. Like 90210, she was one of the biggest stars in the world at the time. And we covered this a little bit when we did Domino, when we talked about the blokes off 90210 there for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a big deal. Like she was tabloid famous. She was like huge at the time. Like, yeah,
As big as you could be pre-internet, basically.
100%. Yeah. She was a big deal. So her signing on for this movie was the thing that got the funding, got that $8 million across the line.
Okay.
The studio wanted
they needed
a
a
name.
star.
So she already said yes before she got paid.
Yeah.
Is she trying to prove to herself that she can act?
I think that's how Hollywood works, though.
And she failed.
Yeah. You reckon?
Oh, yeah.
I think she's okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mind her in it.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's pants out acted her.
Well, she's had quite the career, and Ben
Stole the
Affleck's pants
scene.
have not. They're on a Belle Biv DeVoe tribute band.
Called the Dead Hoper.
So she has 85 credits on IMDb.
Really?
But only 8 are reviewed on Metacritic. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means?
Is she all in Charmed?
There's a lot of Charmed.
Charmed,
But Charmed is one credit, but she's been in a lot of stuff over the
What
years.
movies?
Yeah.
I can't think of...
I didn't go that far into it, man. But yeah,
Is she still working?
She is
Yeah,
here and
okay.
there. Yeah.
Is she doing
At
Sharknadoes
Starbucks.
and shit, is she? Or what's she doing?
I don't know.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. I don't care.
She's probably living off those 90210 checks.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
She'd be very,
Royalties.
very rich. Yeah, she'd still be doing
Wait,
okay.
did she come back in the later season?
Don't think so.
As in, what,
No.
didn't they come back as like mums or whatever?
Oh, they did
I don't know.
Come back as mums. Just do-do-do-do. Mums.
No. Didn't the old cast reappear in the new 90210?
No, they just
but
rocked
were
up.
Older.
Ian and Brian Austin Green just rocked up saying, "Can we act again?"
Oh.
They said, "No, fuck
Right.
off."
Sharon Doherty was driving the coffee
I thought
truck
it was
and
about-
it was as much of a surprise to her as it was to anyone else.
Classic Shannon mess around.
So, wait, what are you guys shooting over here?
All right.
Just make me that latte, bitch. So she only has 8 things reviewed on Metacritic, which includes Dancing with the Stars.
That gets on Metacritic?
Yeah, no, and I don't know. That is the ultimate. That's a slap in the face when you've got 85 credits on IMDb, and out of the 8 that they think are worth reviewing on Metacritic, one of them is Dancing. Your brief appearance on Dancing with the
I
Stars.
still can't believe she's got 85 movies. I can't think of one.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be movies for IMDb, obviously, and also she doesn't have to be in it for very long. Some people are in IMDb even though they're only briefly in movies.
Who are you talking about?
Might be talking about myself.
I wonder if she's in a lot of as herself's. As
a little
in
bit, yeah.
reunions and appearances,
Yeah, probably.
that sort of shit, maybe.
Yeah, because
Maybe
also
that's what
if
it
you
is.
are her, you're just putting everything on IMDb, aren't you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there's a time that she was like walking down the street in Times Square and she walked past the Today Show window. She's like, "That's me, put me in." Calling her agent, "I want a credit.
Put me in."
She was, I thought that she was going to be a bigger deal in the sort of indie noir movie scene because of Heathers.
Yep.
Which was a big deal back in the late 80s, early 90s.
She's very hard to work with, apparently.
But that's the thing. Exactly, yeah. Apparently she's...
Troubled?
Yeah.
She looks like a girl I would enjoy talking to. Like, I'm just not a big fan of Shannon.
What do you mean by that?
Mums. She's got a look about her.
Yeah, no, she had a reputation as being extremely hard to work with.
I think it's because she hurt the girls in Charms. Those 2 other girls went through hell with her.
She wasn't the charming part.
Yeah.
She was apparently like one of those very forthright. She's like, "I'm a bitch, deal with it," kind of people. You know?
Right, okay.
You know?
Yeah, okay.
And outspoken. I don't know. She's got a southern.
probably
she's a
would have
southern
liked
belle,
her.
according to me. Sorry about the southern accent, Shannon.
Hey there, Pear.
Don't come at me. Yeah, she was hugely tabloid famous.
New idea.
Yeah. And part of that might have gone to her head and why she was such a bitch, but she was the new idea darling for a while there. Yeah. Who magazine?
Oh, yeah, Who?
I believe she was big on Who.
Women's Day.
Women's Day. Yeah,
Always.
let's just name a few more.
Or we just do the crosswords on
All right, who else we got?
We also have Jason Lee.
Love Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Huge.
This was a big deal for me because I was a little skater kid.
Yeah.
And I remember him as a skater first.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, this guy's going to act?
Don't remember him as a skater because I don't like how was he just on skating tapes that you'd rent or that you'd buy?
Yeah, no, he was.
No, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, we'd borrow him from friends.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And he would be in those
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, he was Blind, who he skated for a while there. They put
Yeah.
out wicked videos.
Okay, yeah.
So
There you
yeah,
go.
I used to watch skateboarding videos back in the day.
Was he like a freestyle skater?
Like a street skater?
Yeah, like a street. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
street, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he was legit, and he had personality as well.
Isn't that what it's called? Freestyle?
I guess.
Freestyle skater, breaststroke swimmer.
He'd carry on. He'd been in a couple of things, but nothing major. So this was his feature film debut.
Was it really?
Yeah, like as in like a major role.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He'd been in a couple of things, but this is the first time that he got more than a few lines. And
He got all the lines.
Yeah, and as you say, he killed it. Like
He did.
You can see
Crushes
why
it.
he took off.
Every single scene he's in, he crushes it. So natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And it worked. How natural he is works so well with Kevin Smith's style of dialogue
Yeah.
because the dialogue's meant to feel very natural,
Yep.
despite Jeremy London
It's
trying it's not to. But Jason Lee just it fitted perfectly with an untrained actor.
Yes,
so
yeah.
he was just a kid,
You do wonder if, with Clerks being so many untrained first timers, whether Kevin Smith rather thought he had the Midas touch and he's like can pluck any motherfucker off the street, and make him a star.
Well, and he did it again.
But he struck gold with Jason Lee. But there's some performances in this movie where he's got either your Ben Afflecks and your Shannon Doherty's and your Michael Rokers and that sort of stuff, or he's got people that just can't act for shit.
No,
There's a
they're terrible.
huge disparity in the talent gap in this movie.
It's quite jarring sometimes,
It is, yeah.
especially when they're in the scenes together.
Yeah.
And you got one person that's acting well, and the other one,
really
One
does
of the
stand
scenes
out.
was when the two contestants are talking about nerves
Oh,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. That was horrible to watch.
Yeah.
Man, you're making me nervous.
Yeah.
So,
Two geeks.
yeah.
Yeah, Snoochie Boochie.
who are we talking about?
Jason Lee.
Jason
So
Lee.
Jason Lee bridged the gap between the first timers that sucked
Yeah.
and the the experienced
But I
people.
feel like he was the best in the movie by a long
Yeah,
shot.
he really was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Even the other trained actors like Doherty and Rooker and those
Yeah.
guys. He's
Jeremy
way,
London.
He's Jeremy London.
In that
he was still
game
way
show-
better than all of them.
Yeah.
in that game show, he just shines, man.
Yeah.
Everything he says is just amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. He's definitely got a presence. Also, even just the way he looked
Yep.
was very mid-90s, but I was like,
Without trying too hard.
Yeah,
it wasn't,
but I
it wasn't
felt
a
like
costume.
It was someone that was like me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck, there's a dude that wears the same shit
I think
wear.
maybe they're his clothes.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, they probably were.
They probably were.
Yeah,
In fact,
yeah.
he had the T-shirt made.
Oh, right.
The face on the T-shirt is a composite of everybody who tried out for the shot for his part and didn't get it.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. He's a pretty wacky dude. Like he's a bit out there.
What is the name of his child again? It's like Pilot.
Scout and Pilot, I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah,
I can get around that.
I'm
so
not sure anymore.
his highest score on Metacritic, he's got 24 credits, 24 credits on Metacritic.
Yes.
With an average of 50, bang on 50.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
You take that if you're Jason Lee.
aiming for adequate for sure. Especially when your lowest score is dragging that down, because you only got 24, so an 18 for a movie called Behaving Badly will drag it down.
It will.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, not keen.
Can't remember if
Is
I
it
have.
just me, or did Jason Lee's career end ish? Like, he went down when he made Alvin and the Chipmunks?
So his
You could also argue that was the peak, though.
yeah,
Would you?
he was
Well,
getting-
just as in not his best,
Nah,
but that's
the peak was My Name Is Earl.
no, yeah, but he's got the part on Alvin and the Chipmunks because of My Name Is Earl.
yeah,
And Alvin and the
Yeah.
Chipmunks, that he's carrying that movie. And it's a big studio. It's almost a blockbuster. It went to the cinemas.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's not like headlining anything else.
Big
Other,
studio
he had
check.
My Name Is Earl, but that was a TV show, and they
Yeah.
were a dime a dozen.
Yeah. Although My Name Is Earl was a
If it's
breakthrough role.
Supri.
It was a great show.
Oh, it was a
loved
good show, yeah.
He won Golden Globes and everything. So
Did
he's
he?
gone
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
shit.
I
So
didn't
he
know
was
it was
amazing.
critically
It really
acclaimed.
was. Yeah. So he went from being a pro skater giving this acting thing a crack.
Yeah.
And Kevin, when he was introduced to Kevin Smith, he was told, "Here's a pro skater who's going to give this acting thing a crack." And Kevin Smith wasn't convinced.
Yeah, okay.
He was unsure about casting him at all.
Yeah.
But he just loved hanging out with him.
I can
was
see how
yeah,
you would.
Yeah. And in the end, he was going for another role. I think he was going for TS or something like that. And in the end, he thought, "No, I'm going to make you Brody."
I wonder if say you take Jason Lee out of this and you put in whoever, I don't know, whatever. Fuck it, you put Ben Affleck, Brody Bruce in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Because that's probably what the studio wanted to do.
You're probably right.
Yeah. it's not he really does carry the entire film the whole way through.
Yeah. Right from the get-go, from the very first scene where he and Shandon are in bed, and he's playing the Sega.
Yeah.
So good.
NHL on the
Sega, man.
Have you seen the score? It's so good, yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
Finishing my game.
No. You promised me breakfast.
Breakfast? Breakfast. Look at the score, for God's sake. I'm only in the middle of the second, and I'm winning 12-2. Breakfast come and go, Renee. Now Hartford, the Whale. Hey, they only beat Vancouver once, maybe twice in a lifetime.
So, yeah, right from the get-go, he's got a presence.
He had a great tone. Like, the whole tone of it was how everyone would talk. So that's the writing, and it was brilliantly performed by Jason Lee. Love him.
He's been in some flicks. So his highest score is Almost Famous with 90.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't really remember him in that, but I haven't watched it for a long time because I don't like it.
What was he? Was he a roadie?
Hot take for you.
Was he one of the roadies?
I think he's in the band, I think.
Is he in the band?
Yeah.
Oh, he is in the band.
He is in the
Yeah,
band.
he's in the band.
Yeah. That's
Stuff just slamming down facts.
Yeah, it's just a movie that I think is vastly overrated, but that's another podcast.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Oh, people
yeah.
fucking go
I
on
like
about
it. Like, I've watched it a couple
It's
of times,
okay,
but
but
it's not. Yeah, it's not 90.
No.
Billy
Yeah.
Crudup bothers me.
It's a lot of people's favourite movies.
Yeah.
You know, people that go, it's my favourite. Really?
And that kid is bad.
Let me
in
show
it.
you some other
Kate Hudson's not good in it either.
Yeah.
So it's ranked. He has Mallrats ranked at 41. Above that is Vanilla Sky. So that's Cameron Crowe as well, isn't it?
I don't remember him in that.
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it's
His best
I
role
remember
is-
the movie. I don't remember him in it.
His best role is Enemy of the State.
I was about to say he's in Enemy of the State, isn't he?
Yeah.
At the very start.
Yeah, that's a good flick. Yeah, you're probably yeah.
Is he like the computer guy? Isn't he?
He's the one that gives
it the
Will Smith.
and he gets killed.
Oh, does he?
Alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, gets hit by a train.
That's right.
Truck.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's right.
Something on wheels.
or tracks.
Yeah.
And Mallrats is above Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, The Squeakquel, which got 41. So as you say, like studio.
How many Alvin and the Chipmunks movies was
got
there?
as far as 2.
Oh, 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Look, it's no
I
Sonic
think
the
there's
Hedgehog.
like 4 now, but I don't think Jason Lee's got anything to do with it.
No, probably not. He's actually taking a break from acting. He's a photographer now, and he's actually a published photographer. So he's been a fucking pro skater, a Golden Globe winning actor, and now he's a bloody published photographer.
I'm going to give
You know what?
photographing a show.
I'm over Jason Lee. Sounds, I fucking hate people.
Oh no, there's another aspect of him that isn't great.
Yeah, so he was a Scientologist.
That's what I was getting at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a devout. He's
Hard as well.
He claims
Devout.
to be not now, but he was super, super devout. And they did say that he left his first wife because he found out she read an anti-Scientology book. And he just like ostracized her. And did
there was a
the whole-
lot of shit like that for a long time, for like a decade. That's
Yeah.
all you heard about him.
Yeah,
and then he denounced it in I don't know 2016 or something.
Wish I
like
didn't
that.
know that. I really like Jason.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. Eh? It
He's
doesn't
out there.
fit with everything else that you know about him.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't seem clear.
I just assumed he was a quirky dude.
It
Yeah, he
was
is.
something
Like
to
sometimes
do with
goes to church.
yeah, like that. It was something to do with his agent was part of the family, the biggest kind of Scientology family in Hollywood, because you know Scientology kind of has its hands in Hollywood,
The
like the
Miscaviges.
entertainment industry. Yeah,
David Miscavige and his
yes.
cronies.
So it wasn't them, but one of these famous families, the Radices or something like that. They're called, and they basically grabbed him as like a talent. And they also are massive Scientologists, so they just groomed him essentially, and they fucking brainwashed.
That's how cults work.
Yeah, whole different pod to go into that, but yeah.
Tune into BJ and Kenny's Cult Hour for that one. We're doing Red State.
Fuck,
We're doing
I would-
Waco
I
episode
would
1.
fucking do that pod.
Yeah, it's
Let's do
actually
it.
honestly, it's in straight after this. We got this
Cult
room,
pod.
We got this room till 10.
Great.
Join me on my pod called By Myself. Thoughts from a little dead hoper.
I'd actually would listen to that. Sounds great. Is it just hakus?
Yeah.
It's just Duff doing sad haku.
Yeah, like I know what a fucking haku is.
It's
Then.
just like-
All I know is a haku. Is that what they do before a rugby match? Is that a haku?
Do limericks or whatever you Scottish people do.
Limericks. I don't even know what that is.
So that's pretty much it for the cast.
Okay.
I don't really think there's anyone else really too much worth talking about, except I got tidbits time, and most of my tidbits are Jason Mewes related.
That's fine. Yeah, go do it.
Oh, you got to go.
Love
Jason Mewes.
Yeah,
Now, talk about a misfit in Hollywood.
yeah.
So this dude, obviously plucked from obscurity, he's not an actor. He never claimed to be a fucking actor.
No.
But Kevin Smith is like, you, mate, are pretty unique. In fact, Kevin Smith said about him, Jason is the kind of dude you know for 5 minutes and he whips out his cock. I was like, someone should put this dude in a movie. I just wanted to see whether anybody outside our group of friends found him as funny as I do.
And they did.
Yeah, and they did, yeah. And he has been naked in 5 Kevin Smith films as well, apparently. So.
Yeah, the main one I remember is just him and Zack and Miri, who's got the big hog. Yeah.
So he was the one. He was not wanted by the studio, but very much wanted by Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Especially because he'd played the same role in Clerks, right? So you need that continuity for the viewer skew-verse.
Yeah, you definitely can't change that up.
Viewer skew.
Viewer skew-verse.
Yeah, that's it. You got it there.
Yeah,
That's
sweet.
fine. Yeah.
So they wanted Seth Green.
Yuck.
Yeah. And they had Seth Green on standby.
He's too small, yeah. Like, isn't he tiny?
Fuck yeah.
It's not what I thought, but yeah, he's not a big guy.
Seth Green's tiny.
Yeah, what? He doesn't have the oomph.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wear 16-hole Doc Martens and socks.
Yeah.
It's another one of those where, like, Jason Mewes works because you can tell he's not an actor and he's just doing a bit.
Yeah.
If someone comes in and tries to be Jay, that's not going to work. No one can act and be Jay.
No.
You're just Jay.
I'm pretty sure he's just being himself.
That's
right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like,
definitely what he's like in real life.
Just stand there and be a loose unit.
Yeah, you remember last Sunday when we were hanging out smoking weed? You just do that, but on camera.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Snoochie boochies.
Snoochie boochies.
So the studio was like, we will watch the dailies every day for the first 2 or 3 days. Yeah. And if we don't like it, we're bringing in Seth Green. They're like, Seth Green, just wait. Seth Green said he felt
waited
shit
your
about
little
it.
horseshoe.
He knew all
house.
about it, obviously. Yeah, just waiting a little
I'll be down here waiting.
Not riding roller coasters.
Very tiny man.
He's not a big guy.
Love him, though.
Yeah, no, he's great.
After all
he's
that.
great. Yeah, not a Scientologist either, apparently. I don't know. He
Might be.
He might fuck if I know. So, yeah, that was a bit rough, isn't it, to say your replacement's in the caravan. If you don't fuck this up, you will tell him to go home. But if
I don't think Jason Mewes would give a fuck too much.
No. Well, he is a bit of a loose unit. He's actually had quite the interesting life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So...
he's had his problems.
He has.
Yeah.
He has. It's interesting because he came from a
also
house...
not shocking.
No.
Sorry to...
No. Well, he was playing himself, if we mentioned that.
Yeah.
So he came from a household where his mum was a drug addict.
Yep.
And she was not a great example. She was a junkie who used to get him to help her steal hotel TVs. Like she'd check in, steal a TV, and she also used to drive him around. And get him to help her steal people's mail.
Shit, one of the early mail thieves.
Yeah. So that's a federal crime for anyone listening at home. Trust me. And so he had a really bad example set for him, so much so that he swore off drugs and he said he wasn't going to do drugs, and he changed his mind when he became a teenager.
Yeah.
And he actually started using heroin whilst they were filming Mallrats.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that
got a bit of money from it, did he?
Yeah.
Went into Michael Rooker's
went right up his arm.
Caravan.
Yeah, so he was on downers, Michael Rooker's on coke, and they somehow fucking made it work. So he then sort of went into a spiral of 15 years of substance abuse and trying to get clean, and he loved the opioids. He was a real...
I think I want to say, I could be wrong, I don't know whether it's in your research, but I think Kevin Smith and the podcast they started together, which I forget what it was called, MMOC or something, but they then Kevin Smith basically brought him out of rehab and gave him like a sense of purpose again, and he was there like for He
tried a few times.
Right, okay.
He was a really good friend to him. He put him up in his house.
Yeah, okay.
He let him live with his family, his wife and his children to get straight, and he had to kick him out when he found him using again.
Yeah.
So he tried, and they actually were estranged for several years after that. After he found him shooting up, I don't know if he's shooting up in his house, but whatever, he was living with him. He found he was still using drugs, and he said, "You're out." They were estranged for a while, but Mewes did get his shit together. He hit rock bottom. He woke up one day, like most heroin addicts eventually do, amid a burning house because he left a candle burning whilst he was shooting up. Seems like a fucking good idea when you're danging.
Yeah.
You're danging.
You're like, I'll set the mood.
Well, no, he'd be using the candle to cook the spoon.
Yeah, it might have been a scented candle. Just a slight vanilla essence really goes well with the smack. It takes the edge off the shit smell after you pooed in your pants. Not a fun
You guys
drug,
know
mate.
heaps about heroin.
That's another podcast.
We're up to 4.
Yeah. I would never, ever. But anyway.
Yeah.
He became really good friends with Kevin Smith. And that's a real good story. And the fact that, Kev had his shit together, was on the up and up, but always kept an eye out for this guy. Might have felt a little bit responsible for making him famous and giving him money and all that sort of stuff. But at least he had money and heroin.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
Broken heroin.
But he had a rough time, and those guys talk about that pretty openly in their stage show, and I believe on their podcast and stuff like that. So shout out to Jason Mewes for going
man.
through it and coming out the other side.
Living the hard life.
Yeah. He's real, and he is a very.
I love stories like that.
Yeah. He's a
Not
weirdly
as in
charismatic.
The tragedy of it.
You're going to love Train Spotting Pod. And there's this baby.
Oh, man, that fucking baby.
So, yeah, I think a big shout out for him because he gives hope to everyone who's not an actor, like myself, who making a push. Just because I've got IMDb credits doesn't mean I'm not an actor. I look good in the background, like far, far away in the background, facing the other way. So, and the fact that he's gone through some shit and he's come out the other side.
Cool.
And he did so with absolutely limited talent, let's be honest. He's
just a funny guy.
He's been in a couple of other things playing not Jay, and no one's seen any of them or cares about any of them.
Mary making porno.
Yeah.
There is that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was great in that.
I loved
Oh,
it.
it's actually not bad. I'm going to revisit that flick
Yeah,
right after Red State.
It's good.
Yeah.
Put it on the list.
Gotta do Red State.
Just going to smith it up.
It's really funny from the start, Zack and Miri. Like, as in just the opening, like it's bang, and it's like, oh, here we go. This is a proper comedy.
Everyone in it, that whole film crew has a wicked chemistry.
Wicked. Yeah.
Do you know why?
I sound
Because Seth Rogen's good for morale. You could fucking put Seth Rogen in Casuarina and the place would just be a party. He just lifts the mood everywhere he goes. Yeah, when he laughs, you laugh. He's one of those guys. Yeah, he's just the best. What a fucking good egg.
Yeah.
I have two other random facts about Jason Mewes that I'd like to throw out there that I just thought were cool.
Please discuss.
One of his best friends is Danny Trejo.
Oh.
Wouldn't you want to be a fly on the wall when those two boys
cool.
are kicking it and just talking?
Yeah.
That's a podcast. That's what the people want, Danny and
Jason. Yeah,
just get it together. Yeah,
Danny and Jason.
I just can't imagine those two hanging out. Other just tidbits that I thought were cool enough to write down when I was looking tidbits up. Shannon Doherty, bit of a boss bitch, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact she was told part of her contract was she could keep any outfits she wore, so that's why she's always in a clothing store changing outfits.
So, I noticed that actually.
Fucking game the system, Shannon. Well done. Also, everywhere she walked on set and everywhere, and apparently just around LA in general as well when she was back home in LA, she had a big fucking German Shepherd with her that only responded to her when she commanded it in German.
Yeah.
So she was scaring the paparazzi away, and it was literally so people left her alone.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person she was. Yeah, and I just
like
respect
it.
it. I'm just like, fuck, that's pretty cool. So, yeah.
That's great.
The chicks from Charmed got it wrong, man. And as we mentioned before, the film was shot in Minnesota at a mall that was really struggling for occupancy.
Minnesota, was it?
Yeah, Minnesota. Because, and that Kevin Smith said that's one of the harsh lessons he learnt about the film industry is you go wherever it's cheapest. Like, he wanted to shoot in Jersey. He's a Jersey guy. It's set in Jersey, whatnot. But they said, no, Minnesota will only charge us $10,000 to do the whole shoot there, and it's half empty, etc.
That's great.
So
what
it was
the
its
hell
own
they
sound
spend
stage.
$8 million on then?
I don't know. We need to find these breakdowns. We keep asking each other these off the spot, but yeah, interesting.
They're probably there somewhere. You can probably find them.
Yeah, we'll publish the spreadsheets.
Shannon
for the
probably got
listeners
6
that
of
care.
them.
And the movie, as I said, is chock full of pop culture and comic book references. If you pick up on them and you know what they are, mention them in the comments for us in social media, because
a lot of
I
that's
got a
lost
couple,
on me.
But yeah.
The only one I noticed was a Clerks hat. He puts a Clerks hat on, looks at it.
That was pretty overt. Yeah,
I was like, it's crazy.
But even things like there'll be whatever the comic she was reading, and then like he has a go at her about not putting boards in the back and stuff like that. That's all comic book nerd stuff.
And you're saying like the name of the shops and
There's
things like
lots
that,
of little
even
things,
posters on the
Look
walls.
at the book Jason
I started
Mewes is
making
reading
notes of a few of them, and I was like, "There's so many of them." It's but I guarantee some of our listeners picked up on some of them and can let us know.
Yeah.
And the last one, the pretzel bit. So poor old Michael Rocker,
Stinkpalm.
he still gets people coming up to him at random in public, giving him chocolate-covered pretzels as a bit. It's been 26 years.
They did it on Walking Dead every day. They bring him a chocolate-covered pretzel.
Leave the fucking poor guy alone.
So good.
Yeah, I bet he takes it in good humour. He's like, "You've seen Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer?" Because that's what I feel like doing. Let's go for a ride, Michael. So that's my tidbits.
They were good. They were really good, yeah.
All right. Want to give us your closing thoughts?
Sure. You
can do me first. For me, it was really good, but it's aged.
Yeah.
The comedy's aged. Mm-hmm. It didn't really work for me. I remember loving it when I first, and then revisiting it, like Ken said, it's been 15 years since I watched it. I know it's going to upset a lot of people because it's got a cult following.
And the people voted for it.
And the people voted for it. But be a different story if we're doing Anaconda, but we're not.
Thanks a lot.
If we're doing Mallrats, and for me, I found the movie, the first 25 minutes, I went, this is sick. I remember this is going to be great. Then it drags from the 25-minute mark to the 52-minute mark. It was a bore. I was bored. Jason Lee would raise the movie up.
Yeah.
And then they'd show something else.
Yeah.
And anytime Jason Lee was on it, his stories, all his talk, brilliant. Loved it.
Yeah.
But there was just too much for me I didn't like. And it was mostly Ben Affleck's pants and Shannon Doherty. And then, Jay and Silent Bob were good.
Yes.
They were good. They're not as good as they are in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, where they really shine and like...
Because their name's in the title.
Yeah, it's... For me, if Jason Lee wasn't in this movie and Ethan Suplee wasn't in this movie, it'd be a terrible movie.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
So I have to give a score of 40 for Jason Lee.
Yeah.
And for everyone else, I have to give a score of 2. Okay. I didn't really like this. I thought it would have been better if it was just called Jason Lee.
Right.
Before Scientology.
Yeah.
For me,
specifically,
I am not redeeming
Yeah.
Mallrats. I am sticking with 42.
That's your prerogative.
And yeah, I loved it when I was young. I'm rewatching it. I just seen too many things wrong with it. I laughed out loud 4 times, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not it's supposed to be a comedy. So if I laugh out 4 times, I don't like it.
Yeah, and you're really easily amused.
Yeah, really easily amused. Sometimes I do puppet fingers and just piss myself laughing.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah. So yeah, for me it's 42. I don't redeem it. I'm sorry to the people of the world that love it. For me, I don't love it. I love Kevin Smith. I love Clerks. I love pretty much everything he's ever done, but I don't like Mallrats.
Interesting.
I think the people of the world that love it, I'll go straight into my thing here. I think, and this kind of is for me, I think I love the idea of it.
Yep.
Yeah, so when I was like, Mallrats, yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
I watched this fucking 20 times over the course of a few years.
Yep.
I love the idea of Mallrats.
Yep.
But then when I go back and watch Mallrats, a lot of the stuff I was talking about before it felt like watching a high school play.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have cared about that when I was 17 and smoking bongs and watching Mallrats. It just I wouldn't have even noticed it. But now you go back and watch it critically, it's like, oh fuck, this isn't good at all.
Yeah.
This is bad. But in saying that, I did my review. I gave it 2 separate scores, right? And funnily enough, I'm kind of changing on the fly here because as we've been discussing it, I've been even more nostalgic about it.
Yeah.
And just about the characters in it and the actual
That's what this
actors
podcast will do to you.
I think, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Originally, as I was watching it, I was sort of going, this is bad, man. I actually wish I didn't watch this again because I wanted to remember it for what it was to me for that period in my life.
Yeah.
So two separate scores, right?
Right.
Can you get 2? Is that allowed?
No. It'll come to a conclusion.
Yep.
It'll come to a conclusion.
Okay, mother score's 65.
So the first score I give it is 70.
Yeah.
And that's for that weight, and that's for 17-year-old me.
Yeah.
So 17-year-old me goes 70.
Okay.
Because it's got all the great shit we spoke about before. We spoke about it at length. It's all really good, funny, original shit. Original's important here. The score I give it now is if I had no attachment to Mallrats, the movie at all. I had no attachment to the characters. I didn't know who Kevin Smith was. I'm just a 37-year-old guy watching Mallrats for the first time. Then I give it 30 because it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I combine my 70 with a 30, how's this for a cop-out? I'm giving it 50.
No.
I'm neither redeeming it because I think its sins are too great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you are
But
redeeming it.
I'm also not going to nail it to the cross either because there's a lot of nostalgia there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you? I know that's a bit of a cop out.
No, I actually.
Pardon the pun.
That's really.
But that's where I'm at with it.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I am pretty much along your lines, maybe not to the same extent, but there was a lot of stuff that's aged poorly that I'd forgotten about, and not just the way it's made. There's a whole subplot about a 15-year-old girl doing a sexual...
I didn't think we were going to discuss that.
Yeah, and the revenge porn stuff,
that was bad.
The peeping Tom stuff. There's some subtle and not so subtle homophobia and misogyny.
As there was in the early 90s.
Yeah, some of the language is just not okay anymore. So that was a little bit jarring.
Yeah. I
had forgotten a little bit about that. But we've grown as a people, so here we are, 26 years later. We don't talk like that, thankfully. But I think what it boils down to, I've got the same thing. I've got that time, place, and circumstance is always sort of like inextricably linked to our experience with art.
Yep.
Right? So like when you it's impossible not to be affected by that stuff. When you saw it, who you were, the impact it had on you. It's why like a song that's really naff like makes you well up with tears, or makes the hair stand or whatever. Some people go, oh yeah. So I'm talking about Chumbawamba, obviously. So your emotional,
That's a hit.
Chumba.
yeah. I get knocked down, but I get up again. It's all there. There's a there you go. Just got through to Duff. So your initial emotional attachment stays with you. And that's really hard. So I haven't done a breakdown, but a fair amount of my final score will be initial emotional attachment. Some of it's going to be what it meant to me. Some of it's going to be, it'll get some points for what it meant to movies.
Yep.
Because it was this indie guy getting a red hot crack, getting 8 million, all of that. So I would like to know other filmmakers around that time, how this film affected them and their careers and all that sort of stuff. That'd be an interesting conversation for smarter, more well-connected people to have. But yeah, so I did. It's a good example of something that hasn't aged so well that nostalgia's really affected. But for the most part, it's still a good movie for me. It was entertaining. It's mostly fun. It's still a little quirky, even after decades of having quirk like fucking rammed down our throats. Everything had to be quirky. Everything had to be that little bit kooky.
Love a bit of quirk.
Yeah, there's still some kooky,
especially in low budget indie films. Like it had to be.
Or things that cost 8 million that are trying to look like low budget films. Yeah. So none of that matters. It all still holds a place in my heart and in film history. I saw it when I was a teenage dirtbag, a slacker who did not much else than fucking hang out at the shopping centre. Shout out to Centrepoint, Bunbury, Knobs Music. What's up? But also, it was weirdly aspirational for me. Like mainly in the way, not that they were losers. Like I knew they were losers, and I was like, I don't want to be a loser. You know, we can debate.
And here we are.
Yeah.
They're called dead hopers.
But anyway,
Dead Hoper,
the way they communicated. So it was much more prevalent in Clerks, but the way that they would sass and the way that they could go on these diatribes and they go on these rants and stuff, I thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And the way, I wanted to be the guy.
It was like real conversation.
Yeah, it was. And it was kind of like how we would talk with our peers, but ramped up a notch. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, that's just cool. Like we would have much dumber, less like dynamic conversations, but we sort of thought, that's what you could. I was kind of weirdly aspirational in that regard. I wanted to be the guy talking about.
I get it. I get exactly what you mean.
I was like, man, I wish I could come up with some witty bit about whether Lois Lane's fallopian tubes could handle the velocity of Superman's ejaculate. You know what I mean? But no, I just didn't have it in me, unfortunately. So even though I was a little bit underwhelmed on the rewatch, and if I had never seen it before, and I was just coming in cold, and it took all the sentimentality out of it, I'd probably give it 40.
Yep.
But the fact this film's meant quite a lot to me over the years, and I still found enough redeeming features in it, even on the rewatch, I'm going to give it 65.
Cool.
Yeah, fair.
That's great.
Yeah. So I enjoyed rewatching it. It's not the Stone Cold classic I remember it to be.
Yeah, it died for me. It's like I bring up before. Unfortunately, this movie Clerks doesn't have an expiration date. You can watch that now, and it's still relevant.
Yeah, yeah.
But Mallrats, it's not relevant anymore. It's got an expiration date, and that was about 5 years ago.
I get that.
Yeah, for me,
I can see that. Yeah, I get that.
So I just can't go over 42. For me.
Yeah. I wouldn't go and recommend this to an 18-year-old from work.
No,
I wouldn't say, "Oh, you should watch Mallrats. You'll love it." You're not going to fucking like it. Man. It's not for you.
Yeah. If I hated someone,
if you're an 18-year-old kid in '95, great. But
it's a time capsule. It's a time capsule.
It is. Yeah.
But it's a time capsule that sort of was a little bit foreboding of the future of film as well. But it's also very of the time.
Times have changed. He's walking around with a cup of Coke.
Yeah.
Not these days, he'd be walking around with an iPhone.
Yeah.
Not talking.
Yes. So that's Mallrats.
It's Mallrats.
It was. Yeah, that was good.
So I enjoyed it, and it
was a good chat.
Thanks. I really enjoyed
good chat. It was fun to revisit as well.
Yes.
As much as I say, I was a bit nervous because I don't want to ruin the nostalgia of it, and a little bit, but it was just cool to watch something that I watched so many times when I was a kid and just didn't go back to. Yeah,
it's amazing you can change your mind on something. For me, because I really liked it.
Yeah,
but then I just rewatched it and just.
That is the fear of this podcast, that occasionally we pick something from nostalgic reasons and then, sometimes the sentimentality overrides the fact that it turned out to be trash. But
no, I'm no doubt going to do that at some point.
I've got a long list, and
Well, you've already done Domino, mate. You don't need to.
I've got worse than Domino.
No, can we do it again?
Domino was the high point. Yeah, wait till the re-Domino post.
We do re-Domino.
You were going to re-Domino the fuck out of it.
Cool. I'm in.
Yeah. Prepare your bodies.
Speaking of next movie, your call. I think it's your choice.
I go again.
You're up.
Double banger.
Yeah. Double banger.
Yeah.
What do you got? I don't have to do research. I'm all about this.
I'm pretty excited. It's another oldie.
That's
All right,
okay.
but that's all
This
right.
is our niche.
This is a little bit different for me, but it's a movie that's got so much to talk about and so much to rewatch. I am doing From Dusk Till Dawn.
Shit, okay.
That was on my list.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Dust to Dawn.
Huge.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So
man.
we'll get ready for
It's
that.
been a
one.
while.
It's gonna same.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
we're doing 2 movies basically
Yeah.
in one movie. So yeah,
It's been a while.
big movie for me.
Pretty
I
happy.
think I've got a feeling that quite a few of our listeners it's going to resonate. I think a lot of people
definitely.
have seen it.
Yeah.
So
My wife actually weirdly loves From Dusk Till Dawn.
is it George Clooney?
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah.
But he's he's a bit weird in that, isn't he?
He is,
Weird
yeah.
looking,
Yeah. Save it for the
It's
pod.
hard, man.
Yeah, will do.
Before we go, I would also like to shout out our social media followers. We've got a really good crew of people who we really appreciate every like, every share, every comment.
It's been awesome.
Love yous.
Yeah, we've got a couple of new fans, official new fans,
Okay.
as bequeathed by the algorithm on Facebook. Bequeathed. I think that's the right what you said.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
So
I
shout
would have
out
corrected you if it wasn't.
Was it right?
It was right. Yeah.
Nailed it. Shout out to our new top fans, Neil Orange Peel.
You're Lang.
Yeah. Hamish Borthen.
Yeah.
And Cale Wright.
Well done,
Okay.
gang.
Yeah, and we also received a really nice review on the Apple Podcast app
I don't read them, so
from
Give it to
That's
me.
a Paddling. So just want to thank That's a Paddling for the lovely review as well.
That's
so,
a paddling. That's a Dazed and Confused reference.
Yeah, no,
Twice on one pod, isn't it?
Simpsons, isn't it? That's a Paddling.
that's a paddling.
Oh,
Oh, there was paddling in Days and
I thought
Confused
it-
also,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Maybe that's where the Simpsons stole it from.
probably.
So thanks everybody who takes the time to
Anybody
to
that
review.
listens to a minute of it.
We really appreciate it.
What was the review from That's a Paddling?
Yeah,
Yeah, read it
yeah,
out.
read it,
Yeah.
man.
Give me
Yeah.
the- give me
Build
the
my
goods.
ego up, unless it says something bad about me.
Okay. Hang
What
on.
do we got?
What's my passcode for the iPhone?
Oh, Jesus.
I believe it's password with an 8 as the A.
So, they said, highly recommend 5 stars. This podcast was a great find. I look forward to hearing what movie will be discussed on the pod each week, so I can watch and then see how my own views on the film stack up next to the opinions of the 3 hosts.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's how we want it to be.
Yeah, the movies chosen so far
It's
would have been
working.
great picks that I wouldn't have watched or rewatched otherwise. But the engaging movie discussions aside, these guys are hilarious so far, and I've been very entertained by every episode. So
that's awesome.
Can't be
Great review.
That is
We
officially
talked
the
about
nicest
dreams
thing.
earlier. Now I do believe in dreams. So thanks.
That's
That's a paddling.
That's a paddling.
Thanks to you all. We love you all.
Wicked.
Yep, and that's it from the Redeemables for this week.
Yeah. Follow us on the socials. Don't forget to do that because
Yeah.
I love to build my ego.
Oh, we're definitely getting the fucking email address on the socials this
Yeah.
week. This is the week.
You heard it here.
I want your emails.
I was going to say you heard it here first.
I know there's plenty of people out there because I get texts and all this sort of stuff,
Yeah.
but they don't want to necessarily put it on social media, which is
Yeah.
fine. Send us an email.
Send it
So
Actually-
we'll put the email address up over the next couple of days, a couple
Yeah.
of different times.
Yeah.
One thing I
we
nearly
could probably
forgot-
put it. Actually, we'll put the email address in our bio. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I'll
Do you
put
have
it
a
in
bio
the, I
on
could,
this?
I could do the
Yeah.
bio on Facebook.
Put the bio. Put it in the bio.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
put it in the bloody bio.
Put it in the bio.
grab it and
just
put it on the bio.
Put it on the line in the fucking bio.
There's 2 bios. Just one on there.
Just to interject, really, before we
Sorry.
go, I wanted to do a special shout out for Trent Rule, who is one of our
Trent.
best followers.
Yes. Loves it.
I don't know how you're not a top fan, man. Blame the algorithm.
Yeah,
I don't know,
man.
man. But no, he always interacting and sending us questions and hitting us up on the DMs. So thanks for that, Trent, man. Appreciate it.
Great. Love it. Thanks for listening,
I
everyone.
said, goddamn, what a rush.
Bye.
Bye.
But they're engaged.
Doesn't matter, it can't happen.
Why not? It's bound to come up.
It's impossible. Lois could never have Superman's baby. Do you think her fallopian tubes can handle his sperm? I guarantee he blows a load like a shotgun right through her back. What about her womb? Do you think it's strong enough to carry his child?
Sure, why not?
He's an alien, for Christ's sake. His Kryptonian biological makeup is enhanced by Earth's yellow sun. If Lois gets a tan, the kid could kick right through her stomach. Only someone like Wonder Woman has a strong enough uterus to carry his kid. The only way he could bang regular chicks is with a kryptonite condom. That would kill him.